A congratulatory message appears on the computer screen, making the person very excited. Success! Reku ecstatically exclaims, "Damn it, I finally did it. I broke the record." He jumps up. "I finally beat this damn game." The audience members smack their lips. "Wow, he actually did it, holy crap. The first in the world, tisk tisk, kangaroo and chunsu. Congratulations." What he's talking about is a medieval-style combat game, Empire Defense, a classic title always priding itself on its super high difficulty. It's been nearly a decade since its release, and finally, someone has successfully conquered it. He proudly declares, "That's right, that person is me. I told you so." Reku points to himself. "No matter how hard a game is, someone will eventually beat it. I'm a game live streamer." The computer camera flashes. He's the one who only aims to conquer all classic games with high difficulty. His channel also has a rather peculiar appearance. Subscribe Classic Nerd. Subscribers, 2.34 million videos, 172. You can tell just from the ID. Reku enthusiastically replies to each person. "Yogu, thanks for donating 300,000 hour 1. Oh no, it's all thanks to everyone's efforts. You've all worked hard." He can't stop thinking about his achievement. The game has been out for 10 years, and I'm the first in the world to conquer a stage no one else has passed. How should I put it? Isn't this like peak performance or what? While the young man is still engrossed in self-praise, a comment pops up. "For a gamer, there's no greater achievement. That said, there's one thing I still find a bit regrettable." A message from Shanghai makes him freeze. But in the final decisive battle, that Saintess character dying was as sad as an L-rank character who carried the team on their back. Returning to the screen, the chaotic scene within is still intact perhaps because viewers got too attached to the in-game characters. So they all hoped everyone would survive until the very end, but the result was, except for the main character Lucas, everyone else died. He also muses, "Well, my goal was never for the whole team to survive, but to reach the very end." An unusual sense of loneliness rises within Reku, even though he defeated the final boss, the Sleepless Lake Nymph Queen. Last stage clear. Stage mode Lucas SSR difficulty. Hell mode Iron Man. Mode clear. World ranking first. Player name Classic Nerd. Only Lucas remains rooted to the spot. He looks closely at every detail within it. Before the boss he defeated, treading on countless bodies piled up like mountains, both enemy and ally. The young man hangs his head sadly. How did it end up like this? The character Lucas keeps appearing in his mind with that lonely silhouette. Fundamentally, it's just a game character, but that silhouette still looks somewhat solitary. Gradually, everything fades to black, with white text, "The End." Reku rests his chin on his hand, thinking, a bit sad. His emotions are interrupted by another notification. A viewer wonders, when shouldn't the game developers send some kind of reward? He bursts out laughing. Why would they suddenly have to give me a gift? Another comment chimes in. "Lise, they should give something as proof that you beat that soul-crushingly difficult stage, right?" He exclaims in surprise. "Oh, I get it." Reku humbly tells them, "What's the point of a reward? I don't need those things. Being with everyone all this time has been fun enough, right?" However, a comment bluntly exposes him. By Wombo. "Wow, look at those ambitious eyes." Baby Bone. "I thought you'd say you'd take anything." Vision Blaster. "No need to hide it, we can see you're really looking forward to it." The young man quickly waves his hand dismissively. "Where did that come from?" Mr. A disappeared a long time ago. The game disc beside him lies still on the table. "It's been too long." Reku leans back to relax a bit. "I don't even remember anymore." Just as he finishes speaking, a notification suddenly appears on the screen. "Director Mr. A, hello classic game fanatic. I am the director of Empire Defense." He stares in astonishment, his eyes wide. Countless question marks pop up in the comments. The game director continues, "First, thank you very much. Actually, I had almost given up on this game." Reku becomes even more bewildered. "Is this for real?" He expresses his thoughts. "I originally thought no one would ever succeed, but thanks to your successful clear, I can finally breathe a sigh of relief." "Thank you truly." Reku shyly replies, "Oh no, you don't really need to thank me like this." Suddenly he utters strange words. "It's fortunate that you've given us hope." Reku immediately thinks in another direction. "Hope don't tell me they're planning to develop Empire Defense 2. An offer is made. We've clearly seen your abilities and skills. We'd greatly appreciate it if you could spare some time to come here and help us." Reku mutters again, "Skills, abilities." The young man's reason wavers. "What's this? Is he trying to make a scene? There's no way the founder would watch my live stream. Or maybe I should just kick him out." Reku immediately speaks mockingly. "So, oh great game founder, no, that's not right. It should be the person who claims to be the game founder." Suddenly his screen turns yellow with dense static. The image of the young man also flickers accordingly. This is what he means. His vision darkens, causing him to panic. What's happening all of a sudden? Reku's body slowly slumps. Played games for too long feeling dizzy. All he can see is a bright yellow color from the screen. And if something happens to me, the viewers will call for help right away. Before finishing, the director politely sends his thanks. Thank you for playing Empire Defense. Finally, the yellow light fades. Thank you for playing Empire Defense. Everything shifts to a chaotic scene as countless magical spells rain down heavily on the ground. The young man's eyes fly open wide. Reku jolts up in a state of panic, letting out a loud cry. His clothes and the surroundings have all changed, but he hasn't realized it yet. Just now, what was that sound? At this moment, a piece of the rock in front of him suddenly breaks off and falls. Before Reku can compose himself, he suffers another major shock. What the hell is this? He shrinks back amidst the chaotic battlefield. Reku's hand presses against the rocky ground. The young man groans and slowly gets to his feet. The muzzle of a gun emits thick black smoke. It quickly spreads, making Reku cough dryly and repeatedly. This is the smell of gunpowder. A fuse is lit and the flame is burning down. The cannon next to Reku fires powerfully. He sits to one side, his mind dazed by what's before him. Reku's face is blank for a moment. Beside him, explosions erupt from bombs and debris. He starts to get annoyed. What the heck is this? Give me a break. But when he turns his head, Reku sees even more strange things. Flags bearing the insignia of that army flutter in the wind. The knights beside him wear sturdy armor wielding incredibly powerful sharp weapons. What is this? They surround Reku and spread out to defend. Block stopped them quickly. The young man still hasn't grasped the situation, so he's just gaping. War unfolds before the eyes of someone who has lived in peace. What the heck kind of situation is this? Really? Knights on this side continuously fire crossbow bolts. Those on the other side grit their teeth in pain when hit. He starts to grasp everything. Is a war happening? A warrior stops and pants beside him. He hurries over. Your Highness the Prince? Reku still looks at him with a question mark. The warrior's face appears very fierce. Are you all right? He is immediately frightened by him. Enemy soldier. Then Reku retreats as fast as lightning. Don't come here. He shouts loudly. I told you not to come near me. The warrior is stunned, his whole body trembling. His sword is also dropped to the ground. The person quickly bows before him. Your subordinate is truly at fault. Tears stream down his face. Your Highness, please save us. Reku is still confused. What's suddenly wrong with this guy? The young man carefully sits up. He approaches the warrior and starts a conversation. Hey, mister. While he's still talking, a surprise attack occurs. First, just calm down. The young man's mouth drops open in shock. That projectile slams straight down and explodes violently. Reku's weak body is thrown backward. He slams painfully onto the ground again. The young man trembles with each breath as he tries to sit up. He lets out a gasp. Reku asks himself, what's going on? That was a bomb. Next to his hand, a blue light flares up. Magical flames erupt beside him, incinerating everything. He is utterly shocked. What the hell is this now? The warrior's footsteps quickly approach. It's this way. Over here. The commander shouts loudly. Assault team advance quickly. He turns to look at them and is startled. The cavalrymen focus their efforts on the edge of the city wall. Absolutely do not let them climb up. That person tries to charge forward with a sword. Something very fast and strong also rushes out. Its speed makes the ordinary warrior's eyes widen. Then he takes the full force of a fatal blow. Reku also witnesses that bloody scene. The person's body is lifted by a tusk. His arm falls off and rolls several times on the ground. Finally, it lands next to Reku, red blood spurting from the impact. Blood splatters onto the young man's face. He quickly backs away in fear. At this time, other warriors nearby are also hit and scream. They helplessly grasp at the tusk, or horn, as they are impaled like meat. Both men bleed and fall at the same time. Reku's face darkens. Outside that wall. Finally, that female creature calmly releases poison from its mouth. Something is there. Its massive legs are revealed. With its strength, it approaches the young man. The monster's crimson eyes flash again. It lets out a loud roar to threaten the person in front of it. He covers both ears and suddenly thinks, it's an ant. The soldiers hurriedly turn towards him. Assault team advance and attack. They still shout loudly as the cut is already at their necks. Don't let them get close. The monster just needs to swing its leg a little to neatly cut them down. Reku starts to tremble violently. My body. His arm is completely powerless, unable to move. The monster's leg is covered in blood. It plunges brutally into the ground. Its crimson eyes are deeply imprinted in Reku's. Is it a dream? Or is this all just an illusion? Now it can get closer to him. This situation is clearly unacceptable. The monster's sharp leg rises. Don't treat me like this. It brings down its attack decisively. Reku grinds his teeth in fear. Just die like this and see. At this moment, a head of blonde hair suddenly intervenes. Your Highness the Prince. His hand grips the sword tightly. Why are you avoiding reality like this? The blade is bathed in a brilliant golden light. His eyes also turn serious as they shine brightly. The sword strike descends straight from above onto the large spider. It is immediately split into two different pieces. After dealing with the monster, the person turns towards Reku. He smiles. What's with your reaction? The young man is dazed, his mouth open, but unable to utter a word. The warrior raises an eyebrow. He sits down and caringly asks, Your Highness, are you all right? He worries, Are you injured anywhere? Reku, on the other hand, has a familiar feeling. That face, no matter how I look at it, it seems familiar. Reku's memory automatically replays a silhouette. Then the young man blurts out, Lucas. The warrior is surprised. Indeed. He turns away in distress. Your head is injured, isn't it? Then Lucas lifts him up. It's okay, it's still fortunate. You finally called my name. All my life serving as your guard, you've never remembered my name. The words of the person in front of him make the young man even more panicked. What? Reku stares intently at the knight, making him confused. Is it really Lucas? Wait a minute, if it's like this then? Then he gradually realizes everything. Could it be, this place is... The young man's vision automatically zooms in. He is clearly standing on a fortress, the sound of bombs echoing around. White smoke also billows out before that wave of attacks. Reku exclaims, I'm in the game, Empire Defense. His lips purse, then pop open. Old memories flood back. It's that super hard game where I just broke the record a moment ago before setting foot in this place. Empire Defense. The monster's mouth opens wide again, spewing out slimy poison. It's that game. They swarm in overwhelming numbers, the place where I struggled so hard to stop them. The bodies of the monsters bulge into an opening and shoot out bombs. A horde of demons swarms in. He gasps, turning to look behind him before screaming in his mind, It's that damn incredibly hard game. The young man asks himself why. Projectiles from the monsters jump out again. They hit the stone wall and use poison to slowly corrode it. An accidental blow lands right in front of Reku, putting him under immense pressure. His eyes still reflect terror. Why did I get transported into this game? The person beside him calls again, Your Highness. He replies, Lucas. His hand rests on Reku's shoulder. Lucas carefully instructs, The enemy is about to advance here. It's the Black Spider army. The destructive power of the monsters doesn't stop. The citadel is on the brink of collapse. But the spiders won't be active after sunset. The sun has already sunk very close to the mountains. There are 30 minutes left before sunset. Lucas continues to draw his sword. Therefore, he turns his back to the monsters. Then his guardian warrior affirms, Until then I will do my best to delay them, Your Highness. Reku is dazed. Why is he protecting me? And what was that he called me, Your Highness? Who am I now? The battle gradually ends as night falls. Lucas is still fine, but the army quickly begins rescue efforts. He's still breathing. Quick, bring the stretcher over here. He sighs in relief. It's finally set. Those black spiders are gradually retreating. However, the behavior of the person in front of him makes Lucas wonder. Your Highness? Reku stands frozen, looking down below. Their city walls are stained with the blue blood of monsters. Their bodies are pierced with arrows and covered in the blood of soldiers. He speaks Lucas. The person beside him quickly replies, Yes, Your Highness. The young man then asks, What is today's date, and where am I? Lucas answers in one go. The last day of February, year 649 by the royal calendar. We are currently at the front lines, the fortress on the border. He suddenly grits his teeth. So, tomorrow is the first day of March, year 649. His guardian warrior agrees with him. That's right. Reku's eyes narrow. March 1st, year 649 by the royal calendar. Monsters begin their siege. I am exactly at the place. The young man can't hold back and bites his lower lip. And I'm in an extremely dangerous situation. Of course I am. Their city walls are enveloped in the cold night wind. Since I started playing tower defense games, I've experienced this situation and this place hundreds of times. It's only now that he recognizes himself. And I am Ash. Reku turns and places his hand on his chest. My name is Ash. Ash von Hader, Everblack. Lucas also acknowledges, That's right, Your Highness. Reku immediately turns his head away in frustration. Why did I transmigrate into this bastard? His identity was originally the one riding a black steed flag flying the mad third prince of the dynasty. The commander of this battle is also the one who caused countless casualties among thousands of soldiers. He remembers the bloody scene very clearly. And this is the character who will meet the most tragic end in the story. That name is precisely attached to this body. Ash von Hader Everblack? Why me, damn it? The army and he quickly return to their resting place at the command tent. Reku can't stop cursing himself. Ash, you idiot. You should have obediently stayed in the capital. Why did you run to this place? But that's just a way to vent after a long sigh. I must be going crazy. He slowly recalls the details. A classic defense game, tower defense. The reason this game is widely known is thanks to the demon insignia appears menacingly. The extreme difficulty of the Hell stage. Warriors are the only valuable asset here, and Iron Man mode was used throughout the process. He figures out all the details thanks to his previous memories. These two things can be combined to overcome the Hell Slaughter stage, and I'm also the only one who has ever beaten that Hell Slaughter mode. Clear congratulations. It's not just about the points I can get. I'm confident I have enough skill to find a way to solve it. Except for one thing, the tutorial for this situation. Reku hastily exclaims, "System window. This stage can't be completed." The system automatically denies his efforts. Even with a tutorial, you would still fail because the story only begins when Lucas alone escapes the monster invasion. The monsters they face are poisonous spiders. In this game, to survive for 3 years, the Black Spider Army is the first thing you have to face if you want to get through the first half of the second year. How can you fight hundreds of such large monsters? Reku slaps his own face. "No focus, you game addict." He looks up seriously. This is the game I once beat. A small glimmer of hope ignites in the young man's mind. If I combine all the experience and knowledge I have, I'll definitely find a suitable solution. But the truth is harsher than he imagined. There's nothing in my head. He can only laugh bitterly. Damn it, this time I'm really dead. He looks at the screen and is horrified by the stats on it. What level are these spiders? Stage 0, enemy information level. Spider Queen 1, level 60. Assassin Spiders 912, level 55. Warrior Spiders 196, level 55, level 60. And there are thousands more out there. What the hell is going on? Looking at his own side is even more disappointing. And also, the durability of the stone wall, old cannon barrels. And the only usable weapon here is this old cannon. What can I even do with this? My chances of winning are almost 0. But Reku tries his best to calm himself amidst the storm. I have to find a way to increase these odds. Calm down. I have to stay calm. The young man reminds himself of one thing. If playing in Iron Man mode, the game doesn't allow saving and loading. So if I make one wrong step, everything will be gone. Reku's hand summons countless system screens. Therefore, I have to find every way to make use of this precious moment. Since I started playing this game, I've known one thing. Blue lights flash. Every situation or stage has a method to overcome and survive. His sharp eyes look through them. Even if it's just a small chance of survival, no matter how small, it's a crucial key. Reku's arm suddenly freezes before a piece of information. He quickly clicks on it. Found it. Then Reku kicks open the door and calls out loudly, "Lucas!" The young man steps out of the tent and calls loudly, "Where are you?" Lucas, his guard by the door, quickly replies, "I'm here, Your Highness. Over here. What's wrong?" Reku urgently orders, "Hurry up, quickly. Assemble an army on my command." That young man is skeptical. "An army? Do you mean the guards?" "Your Highness?" He wonders, "You've never called all of them before. Why suddenly now?" Ash cuts Lucas off. "Stop asking and just do as I say." His finger points straight at his guard's face. Reku confidently affirms, "I have a way to get out of this situation." Following the prince's order, they have been assembled, so he also pulls out a chair to sit down. He leans forward and asks, "All right, is everyone fully assembled?" In total, there are 4 people here with 4 different roles. Reku looks them over and assesses. They are all quite familiar faces. The girl smiling at him is named Lily. The gruffer young man is called Ken. And the one wearing large round glasses is Damien. Reku silently clicks his tongue. They really are familiar. In his eyes, a bloody picture has been drawn. I've witnessed their deaths countless times. But anyway, he asks, why is he curled up like a ball? Damien looks like he's about to cry. He can't answer himself. Lily explains for Damien, he's like this because he just lost a friend today. Please understand, Your Highness. Thanks to that, Reku remembers again. Now that I think about it, he was like that in the game tutorial too. This character in the game is extremely weak because he's always in an abnormal state, so he's also the first one to be sacrificed. He's a healer, plays a very important role, but doesn't help at all. He quickly dismisses that. All right, first. The young man's clear words ring out, I will explain right now so everyone understands your roles in tomorrow's battle. He turns to the only girl here. First, Lily. She replies very politely, yes, Your Highness. Reku analyzes to himself. Lily is a fire-type mage holding a key position in an army using spells to create quite strong damage. Then the task is assigned. You will be the shield blocking the spider's attacks on our tank soldiers. Lily is surprised. But Your Highness, I'm a mage. He doesn't answer, but continues turning to, and you Ken. The prince also clearly remembers his strength. Ken is an armored knight capable of pushing back the enemy's front line. He has the ability to attract the spider's attention and tank their attacks. He's a tank. Then a dangerous mission is assigned. You will have to infiltrate deep into the enemy formation and cause chaos. Ken's eyes widen as he exclaims, infiltrate chaos. The weakest one is also noticed. Next, Damien. Damien. As I said, he's a healer, a very necessary profession in the game. Then he bluntly says something unexpected. From now on, you will be the archer of our army. You will aim for the most important targets. The more Lucas hears, the more astonished he is by the plan. Finally, Lucas, you will command the remaining soldiers and maintain a solid front line. After hearing it, they fall silent, making him impatient. What's this say something, everyone? The warrior Ken grinds his teeth. He angrily slams his hand on the wall. Damn it! You call this a plan? He yells. Are you really serious? No, your highness, are you planning to put everyone here in danger because of that command? Are you crazy? Reku is startled by that loud voice. But that crazy person isn't me, it's that bastard Ash. That's right, this is a bit insane. He himself knows that clearly. But this is a stage that cannot be overcome by ordinary means. So it means if you're not crazy, you can't pass it right. A thought arises as solid as a pillar. So Ken, I can't lose here. Reku's eyes turn red. As the son of the noble king and the current commander of the army, he narrows his eyes and threatens, do you want to defy orders? All three people, they fall silent under that pressure. Ken also trembles uncontrollably at those words. He stammers, Your Highness, and this is also what Reku expected. That's right, Ken. The person in front of you now is that madman. The young man quickly stands up. Finally, if we lose this battle, everything will end. He suddenly approaches Lily. For this plan to work correctly, Reku pulls out the dagger at his hip. Then without hesitation, he swings his arm. I have to make them completely follow instructions. The stab aims straight for Lily's shoulder. The people there gasp in horror. Damien is also frightened by that scene, his face darkening. The mage girl is dazed for a moment when she sees her shoulder. A heaven-shattering scream erupts from the middle of the battle tent. But Reku calmly smiles. You are all capable of hearing orders clearly, aren't you? I will complete this role of a madman. If I do it, I'll do it to the end. Everyone there has one question. Madman. Ken is sweating all over his face. The prince is truly a madman. Doesn't he know how valuable a sorceress is? He is suspicious even though Reku's expression is very serious. How can we go to the battlefield under this guy's command? Flames erupt from Reku's sword strike. Lily becomes even more panicked as the heat spreads across her shoulder. Ken hastily exclaims, That thing? He also smiles. Yes, that's it, I knew it. Whether the developers put it in as a joke or not, everything he does is intentional. But all the beta characters have hidden skills traits that are completely opposite to their characters. He suddenly asks, Lily, you were cut by a sword when you were young, right? When goblins attacked your village? Tears well up in the girl's eyes, but the flames don't go out. After that accident, you received the Fire Skin trait. Fire Skin, a trait created by the fear of sharp weapons. You can block physical attacks by turning your body into fire. Each touch consumes MP. As long as you have mana, you can block any physical attack. He repeats his words once more. Am I wrong? Reku is satisfied with his prior calculation. A defensive ability on someone with extremely high attack power. There's no way to fully utilize it in the game, but this is reality. The girl's clothes are burned to ashes. I intend to utilize this ability to its maximum. Is there any chance to pass this stage? The young man's cunning smile widens. Then there's no other choice. I have to cheat. Reku silently curses the game director. Like you said, you bastard threw me in here. I'll beat this damn game and then I'll grab you and beat the crap out of you. Then he also draws his blade. Sorry for doing something a bit extreme to prove it. She hesitates. It's all right, Your Highness. But how did you know about this? He deliberately evades. It doesn't matter anymore. The young man turns to the side again. Next is, his demonic gaze makes the warrior jump. Ken, yes? Reku exposes him. You used to be a thief when you were young, right? You came from the slums with countless mouths to feed. Becoming a knight must have been very difficult, huh? He is extremely embarrassed. How did you know? The prince places the dagger in his palm and reveals, I told you that doesn't matter anymore. What matters now is what you can do with it. Thief's survival method. Your sense of timing is like a thief's. You can reduce your presence to face danger and avoid attention. Consumes a lot of HP per use. Ken is speechless every time Ash asks, you can steal whenever you want, right? You can hide and avoid attention. That attitude makes Reku wave his sword again. Answer? Or do I need to make another example? Ken immediately bows 180 degrees. No, Your Highness? You are right, I can, so Ash doesn't question further. All right then, just follow my orders from now on. The dagger is also placed on the table. And finally, the prince calls that name directly Damien. His footsteps lightly approach. The ace of this plan is you, Damien. Reku changes to a gentle expression. You have extremely sharp eyes, right? He sits huddled in a corner even when Ash kneels very close. That's why you could foresee your friend's death? Damien's eyebrows droop with incredibly sorrowful eyes. Painful memories replay in his mind. He was my compatriot. We came from the same orphanage. His small, helpless arm flails in the middle of the battlefield. In the midst of battle, he sacrificed himself for me. Why? Damien's tears stream down. Why did you bring us here? Your Highness. Why? He is so grief-stricken that he even questions Reku. What are you planning to do? The deepest words from his heart are uttered, or are our insignificant lives. Nothing but a game to you. In the end, Damien can only earnestly plead, please bring Van back. Bring my friend back to me. That pitiful face cries out, bring him back here. Outside the tent flap, a warm sunbeam shines on a wildflower. Reku isn't angry, just gently places his hand on his shoulder. He seriously tells him, you can blame me, Damien. If necessary, you can even hate me. Encouraging words ring out. But your friend Van sacrificed his life for you. Are you going to sit here and wait to die, wasting your friend's sacrifice? He slowly enlightens Damien. Just because you're at death's door because of a trash commander. Are you going to throw away the life your friend sacrificed to save? You need to reclaim what you've lost. His hand gently tightens on the boy's shoulder. And avenge him. Reku shouts, kill those spiders. Go out there and fight. Teach them a lesson. He continues to ask, Damien, do you want to kill those damn spiders? He weakly replies, yes. Another similar question is posed by him. So do you want to kill me? The boy falls silent as if thinking. Then the honest answer is revealed, startling the other three. Yes. But that very thing makes Reku even more excited. Good. He proposes to Damien, I promise after we get out of here, I'll let you kill me. Anytime. Lucas hastily shouts but is signaled by him to stop. Your Highness. He swears to everyone there, if the plan fails, we all die. If that happens, I'd rather you kill me. The prince uses all his gentleness to persuade, I swear on the honor of the royal family. Just one day is fine. That plea touches Damien's soul, leaving him dazed. Follow my orders. Sometimes anger must be used as fuel. He stirs and then stands up, even if it is. After jolting Damien's spirits, he immediately turns to the others. Is hatred for me. Reku sincerely apologizes to them. I won't make any excuses. Because of my misjudgment, our army was almost wiped out. The young man is careful with every word. But if we follow this plan of mine, we can push back those spiders. It might be small, but there's still a chance of victory. So, just once. He proposes as a commander, just once please believe and follow me. Finally, my hand is complete. Lily slightly furrows her brow as if taking it seriously. Ken also has a similar attitude when looking straight at him. Damien isn't crying anymore and focuses on that commander. And Lucas also places his trust in it. I don't know if this arm will be the arm of royalty or just a pile of trash. They advance outside the city wall where the soldiers are still gathered. But there's no other choice left. The drummer forcefully beats the drum. The Black Spider army is heading towards us. The monsters are coming. A soldier worries, will you be all right, Your Highness? Ash Reku firmly replies, it's fine. Just do as I said. They don't say anything more and obey. Yes, sir. Those pitch-black monsters swarm in like a flood. The plan is very simple. Those spiders have bomb sacks in their bodies. While the others are buying time, we will find the queen then. Their command rings out powerfully. Kill blast it with this mana cannon. The armor of former soldiers lies scattered on the ground. Remove the obstruction. I completely control its magic amount. Hopefully, I can even defeat the queen. The problem is its location. They all look towards the distant horizon. I must find the queen's position. It's so far that it can't be seen with the naked eye. Is this really possible? However, Reku has absolute confidence. Create map, of course. He orders the system, create map. The space around Reku flickers with virtual images. They rise into a scanner and sweep past their fortress gate. It sweeps over every plot of land and extends far beyond. Every animal in the forest is scanned by it for collection. The system recreates those things on the screen. Ash's skill create map, a skill that allows observation of the entire area in the form of a small map. However, because of that, his strength is almost 0. The first time I saw these crappy stats, I was really shocked. Ash X level 1. Ash Von Hater Everblack. Title Nasty Prince. Class Novice. STR1, AGI1, NT1, STA1, Magic Power 1. But luckily, I still have this skill. His hand sweeps across each area of the map. Let's see. Where are you hiding? I just need to find traces of the Spider Queen. Then the young man is suddenly startled. What? Reku shockingly realizes something. Traces of the Spider Queen are not here. The target of this mission? The queen of those spiders. At this time, outside, those monsters have swarmed very close to the city wall. It's not on the map. The city gate slowly opens to make way for Ken. Before that, the prince and he had discussed many things. Take this. I've gathered all the remaining stamina potions in the citadel. You go out and draw their attention. Ken himself is still doubtful. You think I can do it? Inside the dark cellar light footsteps echo. The sorceress girl trembles, clutching her hands. Lily, I will also assign you a difficult task. She stands alone in a vast space. In case those spider monsters can break into the artillery squad, I hope you will use fire skin to block the entrance. I can do it. Lucas above also starts to shout loudly, to your positions? The warriors arm themselves with crossbows and prepare for battle. The cannon is also positioned against the city wall. All soldiers follow the direction of Lucas's sword. He bellows, you must try to endure. We have to buy time until the prince defeats that queen. The young man takes the opportunity to look at the highest point. That solemn expression surely means. His guard urgently gives the order. The prince has prepared everything, soldiers, but in reality, Reku is sweating profusely in panic. Wait, a bit? Everyone, I'm not? The battle begins with arrows and cannonballs. Fire arrows. They rain down below and blow away a few monsters. Lucas smiles with satisfaction at that battle. He also sees it and can only purse his lips. All right then, calm down. Reku has to redefine the target himself. First, the goal of this battle is not to kill the boss monster. It's not surprising that this doesn't appear on the map. He looks closely at the area blazing with arrows and projectiles. Maybe it will appear during an all-out attack. They have a safe rear guard. Those soldiers are prepared in case of any unforeseen circumstances. That's the only place that queen can appear. An area where many monsters converge as he predicted has appeared. Damien? He was just called, so he replies in surprise, yes. He points straight into a mountain range. Over there, do you see it? He looks in the direction of Ash's hand. That place clearly doesn't have a single monster. He whispers his report, yes. I see a group of spiders sitting still doing nothing. Reku is a bit disappointed. I thought there was a chance, but don't tell me. Yet he calmly asks, the queen might be there. Can you see her? The boy squints to see more clearly. The queen? In Damien's vision, a strange monster appears, making him slowly describe it. Do you mean the monster? Its lower half is a spider, and its upper half is human? The target is acquired, making him laugh out loud. Found it, he affirms exactly. However, a weak person like Damien is still hesitant. But isn't it? It looks a bit scary. Ash reassures him, no need to be afraid. It'll soon be shot to death by this cannon. The cannonballs are ordered to be adjusted. Turn the fortress, aim it south. Damien and I will accurately target it. The soldier in charge also shouts at the right time. Mana charging is complete. We can aim and fire now. Excellent. This task is entrusted by Reku to the person beside him. Damien, take it. He holds the switch, still trembling. Prince, Ash immediately replies. What is it? He huddles close to the cannon. I'm not confident. I've never done anything like this before. So asking me to do it is a bit. Ash immediately interrupts Damien. The prince encourages him with honest words. You can miss. I'll take full responsibility. And he also promises him at the same time, even if you mess everything up, it's okay. I will take full responsibility. All consequences are the commander's responsibility. Soldiers just follow orders. Damien is dazed by the surprise. All you need to do is just pull the trigger. That's it. You're the vanguard of revenge. Thanks to those words, he regains his will. Vanguard. Revenge. Trait. 1,000-mile eyes activated. His arm decisively pulls down. Mana around the cannon gathers very quickly, causing a dazzling light to flash. The mechanism inside it begins to turn in order. A current flows from the power source and extends to the cannon's muzzle. Reku looks pleased. That's right. The first shot is fired. Hit that damn thing. The firepower from it is incredibly terrifying, as a pillar of light pierces through many layers of air. That mana projectile sweeps past everything and flies along its trajectory. Sparks fly. The wind around the bow is blown away with a whoosh. Reku immediately yells, it hit. That shot aimed at the other side of the land, exploding into a large column of smoke. The next orders are quickly given. Keep an eye on it. The soldier reports in amazement. It hit the target right in the middle of the monsters. They cheer joyfully. That's the way. The soldiers quickly put their arms around Damien's shoulders. This friend is really impressive. Are you sure it's your first time? He blushes with joy at the praise. I just followed instructions. He hesitates and says, when I held the gun barrel, my whole body started to move on its own. But Reku silently denies it. What are you talking about, Damien? He knew the reason very well. It's all thanks to your trait 1,000-mile eyes. A trait born from a god's mistake. You can see what you want to see and hit what you want to hit. Accuracy, pleasant 999. An incredible skill always hits the target accurately. His cunning smile is hidden behind his hand. In the game, he's a character who can't hold real weapons. But here, all he did was just grab it. They took the full brunt of my attack. While still celebrating, the prince suddenly realizes something else. I really am different. He looks into the distance where the magic shot just destroyed. What's that? Those monsters aggressively rise up. Why are they still moving? The observer on the city wall also pales. Prince, they're moving. He turns in surprise. What? Bad news rushes in, forcing him to take the spyglass himself. Over there. A group of spiders is advancing. They're coming. Reku grits his teeth in tension as he tries to look in that direction. Through the thick smoke, the massive body of the Spider Queen appears. That is, the largest one moves in the middle, protected by thousands of other small spiders. Their formation, the queen's mouth opens wide, its eyes blazing red with anger. He is also frightened by that unpleasant sound. The queen's roar makes the spiders, Here's eyes light up. Kai! They turn their heads and suddenly retreat. Where are they suddenly going? The spiders are moving. The people there are bewildered. We didn't hit the queen monster. Why are they still unharmed? Reku, stunned, lowers the spyglass. Impossible. The observer shouts in alarm again. A disaster. The spiders. They return in even more ferocious numbers, swarming towards the fortress. The prince curses under his breath. Damn it, you give orders quickly, that queen bitch. From the forest, the scene unfolding at the city wall can be seen. Damn it. Ken pants and tries to suppress his heartbeat. His hand pulls out a mana vial. I only have one potion left. He hides behind a tree trunk. The spiders crawling past are terrifyingly numerous. Or maybe I should just run now. The trees in the forest tremble from a shoulder-like sound. Ken is also startled by it. What? He stands up to observe the situation. The other side of the forest blazes with fire. Ken's face is agape in amazement. Embers fly up with the wind and spread throughout the forest. The warrior suddenly hangs his head. Damien is currently wide-eyed analyzing the destination. He reports back to them, target hit the queen's exact spot. Meanwhile, however, Reku is wincing, leaning against the city wall. The sharp legs of the monsters don't stop attacking. The spiders are still moving. The Spider Queen's face is charred black, but it still lifts its head. The queen is still alive. He grits his teeth bitterly. Could it be because we're not strong enough? He tries to recall what he experienced. The original queen of the black spider swarm. Just 1 or 2 cannon shots were enough to kill it. Anyway, according to the game, compared to other monsters in that stage, the queen wasn't that strong. But the queen here seems a bit different. Overwhelming thoughts plunge him into crisis. I have no information about her at all. What if her stats are different? What if she has some special trick? Or what if a bloody hypothesis comes to his mind? She's not allowed to die. Then what should I do? Light from the cannonballs suddenly fires erratically. Your Highness. Because the cannon's energy core has been activated too many times, it's reaching its limit. The loader panics. This is a big problem. We won't be able to fire as much as we predicted. Ash immediately snaps back. You're talking too much. How many more times can we fire? The soldier emphasizes only 5 more times. Because we've already fired twice, we only have 3 more times left. His face darkens another shade. Only 3 more times. Reku looks towards that distant horizon. We have no other choice but to kill that queen with only 3 shots. Moreover, at this time Damien is also panting exhaustedly. Damien's eyes. It seems Thousand-Mile Eyes has other side effects. His small arm trembles. Maximum of only 3 shots? As a commander, he anxiously wonders, can he endure until then? The relentless attacks from the monsters temporarily pose no danger. Luckily, the central wall can withstand them very well. But just as he finishes speaking, more bad news arrives. The wall-breaking monsters are coming. Reku's eyes immediately snap towards them. What? The giant spider carries a sharp body part on itself. Blue liquid flows from its top. He becomes increasingly uneasy. Is it trying to pierce right through? Damn, there's nothing like this in the game. The prince orders, defend, use all our firepower and aim straight at that destructive monster. The cannon follows orders and continues to fire countless times. They hit that spider, but it's completely unaffected. The wall-breaking spider has advanced very close to their position. No, he has only one thought as it directly smashes through the city wall. The city wall will be breached. The wall shatters in an instant while the spider calmly shakes its head. The spiderlings swarm in like a flood. Reku is so horrified he can't speak. Lucas speaks for him. Everyone draw all your weapons. We're going down to the first floor. The prince quickly shouts, gather everyone here. Those who go down there will defend us. We must continuously fire at the queen before those damn monsters reach the artillery area. He affirms to them, we absolutely must kill the queen. Their city wall is in extreme urgency. The cannon is ready. He calls out the young boy's name loudly. Damien? Damien also tenses up, looking ahead. Another shot is fired. It definitely hit the Black Spider Queen. But she's still alive. Reku doesn't delay and continues to demand, immediately prepare for the second shot. Hurry up. Lucas swings his sword at the monster horde himself. He slashes off its limbs, making one of them unable to advance. The young man yells, "Protect the artillery area. We must protect the Imperial Prince." Reku is up here, his heart burning with anxiety. Because the sturdy city wall has been breached, the disparity is becoming increasingly clear. Ordinary soldiers are helpless as the spider's legs pierce through them. Then he screams tragically as he is hit by other relentless attacks. The red numbers popping up on the screen frighten the prince. The casualty count keeps rising. I don't know. He recalls the times he held the mouse himself. Back then, I calmly witnessed the soldiers' deaths. I don't know when I started playing this thing, as if it were a game. The numbers and text are stained with fresh blood. It's a place where people fight to survive. Remaining forces 142. The truth is that death isn't just a number, it's accompanied by piercing screams and a disgusting stench. Reku quickly closes the system and focuses more on the battle. Close status window. At this moment, a quick-witted soldier reports to the surrounding soldiers, "Everyone surround the cannon. We have to cool it down first." Lucas's footsteps also cautiously tread the ground. 5 shots. It will break apart before I can fire the 4th shot. He has to look around warily as he himself has no way out. Reku's spirit is severely shaken. What should I do? A method to help me handle this situation. His mind is helplessly blank. I can't think of anything. Suddenly, a booming voice rings out, "Hey, you monster dogs!" Ken yells loudly while standing amidst the destroyed city wall. "I'm over here. Look at me." Reku is startled when he realizes who is risking their life. That is, he quickly drinks the last magic potion. Though very tired, he still tries to open his eyes. Ken. Then the knight uses all his strength to project his voice louder and farther. "I am Ken, a knight of the Empire." The agitated spiders quickly change direction. He's sweating profusely from fear but still tries to stay calm. Ken turns and runs while shouting, "That's right, this way." He sees a small rock nearby. A brief smile blooms on the young man's face. Ken runs right behind the rock. "Why don't you try coming here and finding me?" Then he uses his skill himself. Trait Petty Thief's survival method activated. Reku watches him through the screen and is suddenly startled. He exclaims, "Wait, Ken, your remaining health?" As predicted, the system cruelly negates his skill. Anemia. The effectiveness of the trait has been nullified. Ken faces countless sharp claws alone. Damn it, I shouldn't have trusted it. The result is he's stabbed until he's not whole. Reku's eyes widen in shock. The number 1 coldly appears again. Reku's face darkens. Even though it's very far, I can still hear the sound of flesh tearing very clearly. Ken's armor falls off around a pool of blood. My wrong orders. The watch holding his memories also cracks. He's took the lives of others. But thanks to that, the warriors have a chance to charge forward. Ken has widened the defensive line, quickly advanced straight ahead without any hesitation. However, they are still easily defeated by the spiders. Not just Ken, everyone out there. Their lives were taken because of an order from me. But at this moment, Reku is still blaming himself. I'm killing all of them. No more than that, hears it too before. While playing this game, I always use my troops as bait whenever I needed. This damn game was designed to go this way. The screen displays a question and he simply chooses yes. Do you want to deploy Army 2 at this position? Yes, no. From then on, countless soldiers fail for the purpose of saving someone to obtain some item. To complete side quests to achieve accomplishments, someone needed to die and I killed them in a happy mood. But at that time, all Reku felt was drowsiness. For all the mistakes I made. I didn't complain about anything either. However, now I've realized everything. His arm trembles. Stop. The harm I've caused up to this very moment. He helplessly yells, "I told you to stop, you damn monsters." The truth is that all deaths come with endless pain. Because of his voice, a large spider has climbed all the way up here. Stop! They won't stop. He also grits his teeth tightly in fear. Just screaming won't make them stop. At this moment, a sword of light slams down on its head. Lucas throws with great accuracy. You dare target the prince? He stands below the battlefield, but still worries about the one above. Are you all right, your highness? That spider teeters about to fall with the sword. Reku's hand grips the sword hilt. That's right. There's only one way to make these monsters stop. He straightforwardly slashes off the spider's head. Their blue blood sprays everywhere. Kill them before they kill us. The loader at this time also hastily reports, Your Highness, the 4th shot is ready. However, Damien can't? He asks loudly. Damien, can you shoot? His eyes are bleeding, but he still tries to wipe it away. Yes, your highness? Their cannon unleashes its final shot with everything it has. This time, it also aims at that spider queen. The 4th shot. It roars to command the surrounding spiders. They rush forward to block the shot, but are all swept away by the projectile. That spider queen still opens its mouth wide and screams. It hit. Thanks to that, this shot also hits that queen squarely. It hit the queen's exact spot. However, its face appears angrily again. It once again radiates its oppressive aura. That damn queen is still alive. That heaven-shattering scream reaches all the way to the city wall. The soldiers and even Damien have all collapsed. The soldier's hand is blistered from the heat. Our attacks are ineffective. The loader is also apprehensive. The cannon has reached its limit. If we try to fire one more time, the cannon will explode on its own. They also gradually despair. Now there's really no way out. Might as well surrender. He also tiredly exhales. Is it over? The cannon muzzle is also corroded. The heat is still there, making it smoke profusely. We've reached the brink of despair. The soldiers below are also pushed to their limits. The defensive line has been devastated. Damien tries but can only scream, and our cannon firer can't even open his eyes anymore. Does it end like this? Reku's arm hangs limp. Is there really no hope left? However, at this moment the messenger adds, "No, we definitely inflicted damage." He quickly looks towards that person. He recounts what he saw. The queen's skin has been peeled off. Reku is moved by that enthusiasm. Scout. Even in this situation, he's loyal to his job until the very last moment. That person hastily suggests as an enemy projectile flies towards them. If we fire one more shot, we might be able to. Reku stares in stunned silence as he passes away just like that. A part of the cannon battery is blown up by that shot. Lucas below exclaims in horror, "Your Highness!" Reku at this time also helplessly falls down below. It's broken. The stones of the city wall crumble with him piece by piece. The whole world. Hope is dissolving. Everything. His vision blurs again due to someone's urgent call, "Your Highness." That voice echoes louder and louder, making the surroundings flash. "Your Highness!" Reku suddenly opens his eyes wide. The surroundings are desolate with nothing left, but his guard is still helping him support a large rock. He stands up in panic. "Lucas!" Though severely injured, he still worries, "Your Highness, are you injured anywhere?" The prince is even more urgent. "That's what I should be saying. Are you okay?" Lucas's red blood has dripped all over below. He suddenly whispers, "Your Highness, do you still remember that was in the past, and it's been 20 years? But the harsh truth makes Reku only able to admit, "I can't remember. As a player who only appears in this form, I have no memories at all. Yours or mine." He shares some old memories. "When your Highness first allowed me to be your bodyguard, you said to me then," Reku asks further, "What did I say?" "Even if I can't become emperor, I will become the greatest man in the world." Every word he says replays in their memories. "So then, for the one who will become my knight, I want you to become the best knight in the kingdom." Lucas was extremely surprised by that declaration, even though it was the day he was just a young teenager. He is still very happy when he mentions it. "Your Highness's words touch my heart so much so that I think about it day and night." The young man firmly tells his prince, "Your Highness, I believe in you." Reku is skeptical. Even in this situation, so his guard emphasizes even more, anytime, anywhere. The rock on his back suddenly presses down heavily. The young man can't hold on and is hit by falling debris. After a moment of struggle, everything around is still being submerged in fine dust. Lucas is pulled outside by Reku and placed on the ground. He resolves in his heart, "Wait there, Lucas." His guard is completely unconscious. "You're the main character of the savior of the world. You shouldn't die in a place like this." He continues to look around. "Now, I should think of a way to get out of this situation. Is this the area below the artillery? How long have I been unconscious?" Suddenly, that young man sees two soldiers with a cannon. Damien is also piled up with them. Damien and all the artillerymen. Luckily, they seem to have avoided the continuous impacts. No fatalities, but the cannon wasn't so lucky. A fleeting doubt crosses his mind. Speaking of which, how are we still alive? What about the spiders? Suddenly, at this moment, someone engulfed in flames calls out to him, "Your Highness?" The crackling sound and vibrant colors astonish him. Lily uses her own body to block the entrance, causing her to be brutally attacked. It's not over yet. The girl grits her teeth, enduring the pain piercing through her shoulder. Lily forces a smile at him. "Right." Ash is stunned at this moment, suddenly exclaiming, "Lily!" Lily, with a hole punched through her stomach by the monster, struggles, using all her remaining strength to raise her hand, signaling to stop, and says, "I can't take it anymore. Now I can only block their way." But, she instructs, "The monsters will break through the gate and arrive here soon." She uses all her strength to shout with determined eyes, "We don't have time. Hurry up." Lily wants to convey this effort. Don't let our sacrifice become meaningless. Ash seems to be awakened by those eyes and words. He decisively orders the soldiers, "Get up, artillerymen, load the last round." But in response to that excitement full of enthusiasm and hope is a trembling voice from a soldier, "But, Your Highness, the disadvantage now. We already said, the cannons are unusable anymore." Ash is like dead silent at this moment. That soldier continues, "When we open fire, the cannons will also explode on their own." Ash glances around and remarks, "If we do nothing, we'll die anyway." Isn't now the time we should gamble? He is determined to do it. Even if we have to sacrifice, we must try. That soldier is dumbfounded, looks up at the sky and wonders, but how can we hit the target now? We can't even see outside. There's no way to know the location of that Spider Queen. Hearing that, he orders, if the cannon mount is broken, then carry the cannons with your hands. We must do everything possible. Ash looks at him and adds, no need to aim precisely. Just as long as Damien fires, it's fine. Load the ammo. This is an order. That soldier nods in acknowledgement. I understand. Ash thinks to himself, I don't know how clairvoyance works, but as long as Damien can open fire, that shot will definitely hit the mark. We have no other choice but to believe. He slowly walks to Damien's position, who is slumped down in despair. Damien, he speaks up, this is the last shot. You just need to open fire one more time. One more time. Damien looks up at Ash with dull eyes. Please, try one more time. He replies, Your Highness. What does all this mean? Those words silence Ash. No matter what I do, nothing will change. Ash replies as if it's obvious. If you hit it one more time, that Spider Queen will die. Damien replies, No, I'm not talking about that. Damien wonders, if I open fire one more time and that Spider Queen dies, then what will change? No matter how hard I work, no matter how much I try, this world is already ruined. He seems to want to interrupt again when he calls his name Damien. Damien continues at this moment. I want everything to stop right now. I don't want to live like this anymore. I just want to go. Hearing that, Ash yells, making the entire surrounding space seem to be liberated. Damien, you think this world isn't reasonable at all? His words rush into Damien's ears. You think if you overcome difficult obstacles, you'll continue to live in hell? Damien is dazed. Yes. He grabs his collar, shakes him, and reminds him, then stop stating the obvious, you idiot. Ash tries to explain, if this world really has difficulty levels, then of course this is hell level, and this is a mode where you can't save or load data. His heart burns like fire. It's not a game. From the very beginning, this world was already at hell and heaven levels. He continues to awaken Damien. It's truly absurd and ridiculous, and nothing goes my way. That's life. Who doesn't know that? Currently, we live in a brutal era. Are you planning to give up? He incessantly scolds. So what, you're just going to give up and stick your thumb up waiting to be killed? Is that all? Those words gradually restore his consciousness. No, we must fight to our last breath. Ash releases Damien and declares, I will continue to fight. I will continue to strategize and fight until the very last moment. He says while drawing his sword, if you want to give up and die so easily, then he puts it to Damien's neck. Then slit your own throat right now. He quickly flicks the sword to one side. But if you're too cowardly and don't have enough courage to do it, Ash faces him. Then become my fuse. Don't seek death. Understand? He gives Damien sincere advice. The only thing you need to do, and I as your lord, don't use the excuse that there's nothing left to live for. Each word is like a motivation, spurring him to lift his spirits. You are my chess piece. You are my key. You are my fuse. That's what you need to do. Ash affirms, that's what I need from you, Damien. A notification appears. Ash X has unlocked a new skill, passive skill, Indomitable Commander. His eyes brighten. I order you. He places his hand on the boy's shoulder and kneels. Shoot that monster dead. Damien replies with full determination. Yes, your highness. He is more resolute than ever. I will follow your orders. A soldier reports loading is complete, your highness, but he worries, there's no way to cool the casing. If so, Ash steps forward and interrupts. Move aside. He decides, I'll hold it. That soldier exclaims in bewilderment, Prince, it's very hot. If you touch it, burns will be the least of it. Your highness. Ash calmly replies, better than being burned alive and dying in hellfire. He turns and asks, are you ready, Damien? He reports his condition. Your highness, I can't see anything. Ash hears this and immediately replies, all right. He continues, I can't feel my hands anymore. Ash simultaneously replies, it's okay. Ash looks at him with affectionate eyes. It's okay, Damien. Damien seems to gain more strength. Ash strains with all his might to lift the cannon. Veins pop out all over his face. He frantically lifts it. The surrounding soldiers see this and shout to each other for support. Help the prince! Each person lends a hand. Ash and the soldiers lift the cannon. They all aim at the monster before them. After the cannon is ready, Ash shouts out the signal, Damien! Damien concentrates with all his might. He pulls the firing lever. He and everyone else bear its heavy pressure. The cannon, having accumulated energy, is activated. A bright projectile shoots out from within. It immediately shoots straight ahead. The entire army lies exhausted on the ground. It hit. Ash silently rejoices. It hit. From the beginning, this was an impossible mission. It's hard to explain. A direct shot at an enemy we can't even see. There's no way to hit the target. Surprisingly, however, that shot hit the Spider Queen. And then unexpectedly, the trajectory of the projectile At the same time, unexpectedly, the distance of the shot, again, unexpectedly, hundreds and thousands of monsters on that shot's trajectory. Everything seemed to replay a predetermined outcome. She was incredibly fearsome. That projectile flew straight into the Spider Queen, who was growling and roaring in anger. An unbelievable truth, it landed right on the Spider Queen's head without deviating even a centimeter. That shot blew the Spider Queen's head off. A notification line appears on the screen in front of Reku. "You're really crazy. How did you win?" He reads the message and thinks to himself, "I didn't say a word. For the first viewer message I received since I started streaming, I don't know how to respond." The message from that viewer continues to appear. "I'll add you to my favorites. You'll stream again, right?" In Reku's mind, a line of thought appears. And then, I have to respond that something makes him widen his eyes in surprise. Thinking this far, he suddenly sits bolt upright, wincing as his wound throbs along with a doubt in his mind. Am I still alive? Suddenly from somewhere a gentle yet familiar voice speaks, "You should rest more, Your Highness." Ash is surprised by that voice. He quickly turns to where the voice came from. The girl sitting there is still talking while writing something. "Damien has used healing magic on you, but because your burns are quite severe, it will take a considerable amount of time to heal completely." Ash is dazed. Lily puts down her pen and continues. "You've been asleep for 4 days, Your Highness. I even thought you would never wake up after struggling to defeat the Black Spider army." Ash is like dead silent for another moment. Then he speaks, "I'm still alive." Lily adds, "Thanks to Your Highness's command, the Spider Queen died in the final attack. The Black Spider army stopped immediately. You won, Your Highness." The scene shifts to soldiers cleaning up. Reinforcements have arranged the bodies of our allies and dealt with the spiders. We're about to finish cleaning up too. Ash looks out the window, sees everyone cleaning up the aftermath, and just replies, "I understand." Lily briefly explains Ash's condition. "Your Highness, you have severe burns on your hands, shoulders, and neck. If you return to Crossroads, you'll have to go to the church. But even with healing, there will still be scars." He just gently replies, "Scars are still better than losing my life." "Lily, how are you? Your wound?" Lily, sitting in a wheelchair, gently replies, "After I ran out of mana, a spider clawed my back. Luckily, right after that, the Spider Queen died, so I wasn't attacked further." She adds with a sad expression, "But perhaps, because the nerves in my waist area were damaged, I can't move my lower body anymore." Ash is dead silent at this moment. But right after that, Lily continues with a bright expression, "Please don't worry, Your Highness. Just being alive is enough, Your Highness. The survivors include 5 artillerymen, Lucas, Damien, myself, and Your Highness. That's all." After hearing the news, Ash collapses and thinks to himself, 9 people. Previous battles had hundreds, but this time, only 9. He looks at her, his mind in turmoil. There should have been another way. I should have thought of some special tactic. There should have been a way to save more people, right? Lily gently places her hand on Ash to reassure him. Your Highness, you are not a god. In that situation, there was no way to save everyone. You did your best, right?" Ash at this moment blames himself in both words and thoughts. "From the beginning, I was the one who brought the army here, even though that was what Ash did. It wasn't me. Because now I'm occupying his body, I also have to take responsibility for that." Lily tries her best to reassure him. Those monsters becoming so numerous after many decades was something no one expected. So please don't be too harsh on yourself. Everything you did was already very good. Suddenly, Lucas bursts into the room, tears and snot streaming down his face, crying, "Your Highness! I'm so glad you've woken up, Your Highness." Ash whispers, "Lucas." He rushes close, asking eagerly, "Are you feeling unwell anywhere? Call Damien here right away." Ash is speechless, struggling. "No, I'm fine. I can bear it. But aren't you also severely injured? Is it okay to walk around like this?" Lucas puffs out his chest confidently. "You know, Your Highness, my greatest strength is being strong." Ash whispers, "Yeah, because you're an SSS ranked knight." He then takes out a list. "Your Highness, during this time, I've completed the casualty statistics. There are many whom we couldn't collect the remains of, but we've finished collecting all those we could." Ash and Lucas converse. "Where did you put those collected remains?" "The northern land of the Vanguard base, Your Highness." "I'll go see." At this moment, Ash suddenly stands up. Both Lucas and Lily try to stop him. "Your Highness, can't go. Your Highness, you need to rest more." In the end, Ash still manages to go out. He looks at Damien and thinks, they said he's a healer. How does he go around healing when he can't see? He worked really hard this time. Ash walks over and asks, "Damien, this strategy succeeded thanks to you. If you want, I'll reward you with enough money to eat and sleep for the rest of your life. So you don't have to go to the battlefield anymore. Since you're a mercenary, you can do whatever you like in the future." After hearing that, Damien replies clearly, "Your Highness, Earlier you told me that I am your crucial point. I want to know the origin of those monsters. Who, where were they created? And why did Van have to die? So please, his bright eyes say to Ash, let me follow you, your highness. He smiles with satisfaction. All right then, from now on you follow me. To show respect for those who sacrificed, we need a priest. Standing before the flames. Ash's heart aches. I know. There's no better way. There's no better strategy. There's nothing more foolish than to keep worrying about what happened in the past. I chose a tactic and executed it, and this is the result. I have to bear it and move forward. Finishing his words, he orders, when the funeral ends, rearrange and move them. The internal monologue continues. At Crossroads every year there are thousands of casualties. This is a world where funerals are more expensive than lives. There's an empty field east of Crossroads. Bury them there. I plan to build a cemetery in the east where I'll build a memorial. In the game, he makes a request. And every year on the last day of February, he looks at the flames and continues, will become the day to honor their sacrifices. Lucas bows his head and replies, I will follow your orders. Ash continues to think to himself, not just for them, in the thousands of times I reset while playing this game, for all the characters whom I killed without hesitation. This is also an act of atonement. He declares Lucas, I won't lose anymore. I won't fail a second time. Let's go back to headquarters, before the Crossroad Memorial. System notification stage, incomplete reward has been granted. Please check your inventory. The sound of horse carriages rumbled loudly. A convoy of horse carriages moved forward one after another. As sitting inside the carriage thought, it's been 3 days since we left the training grounds and headed north to the main barracks. The gem on Ash's necklace emitted a bright red light. Sitting in the carriage, he looked up at the sky and sighed, then moped internally. So bored I could die. Ash shouted outside, asking Lucas, Lucas, are we there yet? He could only hastily reply, almost there, sir. Just a little longer. Hearing this, he leaned back in his seat and continued complaining internally. Are you a food delivery service? You answer just like them, Ash thought to himself. Meanwhile, a notification panel appeared above his head. Job selection is ready. I need to decide now. After the tutorial, I'll be level 5. In this game, the job class is chosen upon reaching level 5. Ash looked at his status screen and exclaimed, why are my stats like this? What kind of terrible character is this? Then he pondered thoughtfully. One interesting thing is even though the stats increased randomly, I can still choose any job class like in the game. But the problem is at the bottom of the page. He clicked to view it. Here a job class I've never seen before, Rookie Commander. He thought to himself, what's this job about an achievement reward for Hell Mode? Could it be a hidden job class? He fell silent for a moment. Ash recalled, the skill I unlocked is Indomitable Commander. The system then displayed, Ash EX has unlocked a new skill, Passive Indomitable Commander. It's clearly telling me to become a commander, isn't it? The screen continued to display, Indomitable Commander, a skill created by those who steadfastly refuse to give up, provides allies within a 10-meter radius a shield granting immunity to mind control. Ash looked at the skill and thought, this skill is quite strong, but it's a bit useless early game. Berserk Magic Serial skills only appear late game. Choosing a job class I'm not familiar with is too risky. He sighed. This is really difficult. As soon as they arrived, Lucas announced, Sir, we have arrived at Crossroads. As happily leaned out the window and shouted, Finally! His eyes lit up when he saw something ahead. Before him was an incredibly large and majestic place. At this moment, Ash was explaining Crossroad in his thoughts. Crossroads is the name of the fortress at the southernmost point of the Empire. The reason it was built was to stop monsters constantly advancing from the Black Lake to the south. Importantly, there was a time when it was the most crucial fortress of the Empire, on the map. But since monster invasions gradually decreased, troops were deployed to other regions and mercenaries filled the vacant spots. The concerned veterans waiting for retirement or inexperienced recruits. Those mercenaries were recruited regardless of nationality and skill. The Empire just needed people to stand guard. An overarching danger. They just needed a living shield. And as more people came, restaurants, inns, and banks gradually sprang up within the fortress. According to him, several decades passed and the fortress gradually became a city. Ash looked up at this place. At some point, people stopped calling Crossroads a fortress and instead called it. He felt the bustle of the place. The monster-fighting front line, the fortress city. To mock the mercenaries blinded by money who sought their own deaths. There's another name, Suicide Alley, the city of gravestones. That's what they call it. As hesitated internally, this place is the lifeline of humanity. Crossroad. He continued thinking, I can't believe I used to see this through a screen. It's much bigger than I imagined. The places are old and also more run down than I thought. Ash posed a big question. Anyway, am I going to take over this city? Arriving here, Lucas was a bit tense. Ash observed everything around him. Why? Everyone's utter silence. The atmosphere is so tense. He could only think, well then, As expected, their newly appointed lord and commander just killed all the militia and is also dying, so whatever. He smirked sinisterly. I've prepared something to deal with this. The people looked at the carriage and marveled. Look, are those mana stones? Ash had planned ahead. I left them in the carriage for them to see. Over 400 black spider mana stones. The fact is, they were taken from high-level monsters, so their quality is very good. Even a rough estimate shows they're very expensive. They won't have to worry about money for a while, he told himself. That's right. If I clear an unbelievably difficult stage, I should at least get this much loot. To make this game easier, I need to get friendly with the commoners. Ash understood the people's psychology. Right now, the people's trust in me is almost non-existent, but I know. He imagined how to make them like and love him. Money filled his mind. Once again, Az was more certain about it. Get ready. Agreeable and proper. I'll buy their trust. That evening, the carriage wheels continued to roll. Lucas opened the carriage door. Then he bowed and announced, "We have arrived, sir." Ash just stepped down. "Good job, Lucas." Before Ash could finish speaking, the mansion caught his eye. He was stunned by its grandeur. Ash wondered, is this where I'll be living? His jaw dropped. The small house I used to live in can't compare at all. I never expected to have such a dream house. A servant burst through the door at this moment saying, "Oh." He hurried over, overjoyed that the master was safe. Ash just parted his lips. "You are?" Ader continued. No, I cannot call you master. Please forgive me, sir." Ash replied. "Just call me master." He tightly grasped Ash's hand, tearing up. "I was so worried you would be injured." Ader caressed his hands while crying. This pitiful servant worried himself sick, Ash thought quietly. The name of this guy who looks like he's pretending to be a servant is Ader. In this game, he's an NPC who manages this city. He thought about his position and handles the affairs of crossroad things, like constructing facility system maintenance. It's probably the same here. I'll complete missions here with him. Ader opened the door. "Welcome back, sir." He enthusiastically guided, "I have prepared a hot bath and dinner. Please rest well, sir." Ader asked softly, "Sir?" Az was standing frozen, shocked by the mansion. "Ah, yes." Az asked Lucas about the soldiers. "Have all the soldiers rested?" Lucas replied. "Yes, sir." After confirming, Ash ordered Lucas to rest. "Lucas, don't do any more work today. Go rest." Lucas tried to argue against the order. "But I am your guard." Ash waved his hand and commanded, "Enough. Go rest. Do it tomorrow." Lucas's face fell as he obeyed. "I understand, sir." Ader called out, "This way, sir." Az smiled slightly, thinking, it seems Lucas's room is on the first floor. Water was filling the tub. Ader introduced the bathroom. When you soak in the warm water, the fatigue and the smell of blood from the battlefield will all be washed away completely clean. Ash rejoiced inwardly. "How long has it been since I took a bath in a tub?" "It's true, the journey was quite tiring, so I'll rest for the rest of today." Ash said, "Thanks." "Thank you, Ader. You should rest today, too." He was starting to take off his clothes. Ader just gave a sinister smile. "By the way, you did very well, sir." That expression held hidden danger. "Rikotaku." Ash's face turned pale upon hearing that. Ader said coldly, "Rikotaku." The sound of water trickled from the faucet. He leaned against the door and slammed his hand on it once. "Who knew you would complete the tutorial like that? It far exceeded my imagination." Ash turned around, looking extremely angry. "You!" Ader seemed pleased. "Why hide it?" "That's right. I am the manager of the game world. I am Ader." As soon as he finished speaking, he was immediately punched in the face. Ader's entire body was sent flying by the blow. Ash was furious inside. "Manager. This bastard. So the one who brought me here was this bastard." Ader fearfully held out his hand to stop him. "Calm down first, Reku." He bowed his head to the ground, pleading, "I sincerely apologize for suddenly bringing you to this place, but still no." Ader firmly stated in a loud voice, "This world needs Retroraku." Before he could finish the sentence, Ash rushed over and beat Ader up. His face was bruised and he cried while saying sorry. Ash, after venting his anger, said, "All right, let's get straight to the point. Back then when you were that manager." He recalled when the system panel appeared. Ader sadly replied, "Yes." Ash questioned further, "And you really are the manager of this game?" "Ah, no, this world." Ader admitted, "That's right." Hearing that obvious-sounding answer, Ash thought to himself, "Why is this damn dog talking like that? I'm really pissed off now." Ash asked Ader, "Why did you bring me here?" Ader composed himself and began to answer, "In this world, there is a true ending. Only one ending." Ash pondered his words, "that no one can reach." Ader continued as an image of Earth appeared with a rotating cycle. "I have had to reset this world countless times in order to reach that ending, but not once have I been able to reach the ending I desire." Ash continued, "And then you asked for help from others." Ader spoke again, opening a series of holographic images. Simply put, yes, that's correct. A series of blue circular frames appeared before the two. He reached out and touched it, speaking, I changed the structure of this world into a game and let all players from many different worlds know about it. Ader spoke as lines of text gradually appeared. Many people pioneered methods with great potential that no one had thought of before, but his eyes became deep and serious as he said, no one could reach that true ending either. Ash wondered, not even you. A true ending. I didn't even know it existed. Ader turned to warn him. Retroraku, you won't be able to reach the true ending, but you can achieve something that others cannot. A frightening image appeared in his mind, making, as ponder, hell mode. Only I could complete this mode. Is that the reason I'm here? Ader continued. Therefore, I concluded that you would be the one with the highest success rate. That is why I brought you here. Ash angrily yelled, what the hell did you bring me here for? You kidnapped me. He recalled the horrible things he had gone through here and grumbled, not to mention you forced me into that tutorial. In this person's body. Ader could only scratch his head defensively. It was probably a game bug. I didn't want that either. Wait, let me tell you this. He raised his hand, trying to reconcile. This is about the reward that Reku will receive. Ash was confused. Reward. Ader continued. If you reach the true ending of this world, I will grant one wish. Hearing this, Az looked confused. A wish. He pondered. What's in that gift box? Blood dripped from Ader's nose as he answered. In other words, I am like God in this world. Az thought, that's somewhat believable. He explained further. When you return to your real world, I will definitely send you a truly meaningful gift. After hearing that, Az asked Ader anything. And he proudly answered, yes, absolutely anything. Ash pressed, even 10 billion won in cash. Ader pushed up his glasses and said suggestively, only 10 billion won in cash. Even 100 billion is possible. Do you want more? Ash frowned, annoyed internally. This bastard, he acts like I'm completely useless. But honestly, it sounds quite interesting. He remembered himself looking at the computer. He will grant my wish. And there are so many things I want to do. His eyes filled with determination. If this guy can really grant that wish, then, Ader added, you must also have a wish that needs fulfilling. Right, Retroraku, a wish more precious than money. You gave up on that dream because you thought you couldn't achieve it, correct? Ash fell silent, saying nothing. Ash thought to himself, then I realized, this guy who claims to be God brought me here because he knew about me. A man stood looking at someone lying in bed. He knows I deeply regretted it. He knows I've always lived with regret in my heart. Ader tried to persuade, I will make that dream come true. Az denied, that dream is already over. Ader explained further, as long as it's still in your heart, that dream hasn't disappeared. Ash wondered, if you have the power to grant any wish, why don't you just solve this yourself? Ader explained further, currently my power is greatly restricted. In this world, I am just an ordinary human. Ash sighed as he heard him continue. That is why I had to find someone like you to take my place. Ash continued. Let me ask you this. Ader immediately responded, yes. Az asked bluntly, if I die here, what happens? Ader cheerfully replied, that's it. If you die, you die. Az's head in frustration. Good grief. Ader explained, life is a game of life and death. There's no saving and no reloading. If you've completed hell mode, you must know this clearly, right? Ash thought, he's right. This game is that kind of game. Even if many other things are always happening, he thought. Death cannot be changed. Ader added, if you want to return to Earth, I can send you back right now. Az was surprised. What, really? He replied, really, really. Ader pushed up his glasses, sweating. Honestly, my initial plan was to bring you here first and then ask for your opinion, but then there was an obstacle. He spoke sincerely in Ash's silence, please choose. Ader held out his hand. Do you want to try to reach the true ending for the chance to fulfill your wish? He narrowed his eyes seriously, or Ader kept his hand outstretched and asked, do you want to return to your peaceful days? The days when you didn't have to worry about the danger of death like a boring life. He continued, it completely depends on your decision. Ash paused for a moment to think. Normally, I would choose to return immediately, but now I'm torn between these two things. A light source appeared. One is the desire to fulfill my wish, and the other. Ash's eyes widened thoughtfully. Isn't it also worth trying? He raised his hand happily. Is confidence I completed this game on Saint Hell mode. Basically, I know almost everything about this game. Ash forced a smile and thought, completing it one more time. Why not? As the sound of dripping water fell, he answered, all right. He firmly continued, I will do what you want. Ash's answer made Ader joyfully reply, really? Ash nodded. Yeah, I set a condition. Since I've accepted doing this, you'd better help me properly. And once I reach the true ending, don't you dare forget to grant my wish. Ader was overjoyed. What more can I say? Just consider me your servant. Ash immediately commanded, good. In that case, Ash touched him with his index finger. His request made Ader sweat. From now until tomorrow morning, sell all the Black Spider Mana Stones. Ash ground his teeth in anger. Why? It's an exchangeable item. You should know how to sell it right. Faced with Ash's pressure, Ader explained, that's true, but it's already evening, and the shops are closed. Ash glared. Shut up and do as I say, you bastard. I don't care if you stay up all night selling or sell at dawn. I just need to know you complete the transaction before tomorrow. Understood? Ader accepted the order. Understood. But sir, you have 388 mana stones. He continued. Just selling them at market price will yield a huge sum of money. What do you intend to do with all that money, sir? Ash answered briefly, we are going somewhere. Ader was stunned. What? He chuckled and thought, how could you possibly know my intentions? Ash and Lucas stood before the mercenary guild. It's definitely used to seek fortune. As golden coins fell, he gave a thumbs up and spoke, why don't we start? He smirked challengingly. With 100 gacha pulls, shall we? A new day arrived and the deadline for Ader's task came too. After an exhausting night, he sat exhausted in front of carts loaded with gold. Ash and Lucas walked up to a door. Ash crossed his arms and smirked. They're really productive. Lucas looked at him and said, Your Highness, I will go in first. Ash put force into his leg and kicked the door open. Everyone pay attention. The people inside stared blankly at the two, as if they were strange creatures that had just fallen from the sky. Ash and Lucas were greeted by the curses of rough-looking mercenaries. Who the hell are you? You want to die? Ash, not to be outdone, puffed up his chest and retorted, What, you bastard? Who do you think you're talking to? After speaking, he walked around the place, then placed his hand on one man's head threateningly. I am your future master. You're the one who wants to die, aren't you? The mercenaries murmured continuously. That's the third Prince Ash. That madman, I heard he killed all his soldiers on the front lines. But didn't he also wipe out those spiders? Ash looked around and thought, is there anyone really sharp here? Text appeared explaining, the Mercenary Guild is where we can create new characters. A sequence of ranks appeared. And of course their influence will differ depending on their rank. Whatever. He widened his eyes resolutely. But let's see if anyone is skilled. Just then, Ash saw a purple glow coming from an old woman smoking at the bar counter. What's that? Smoke billowed from the cigarette. Jupiter exhaled sharply and spoke, Welcome. She smiled faintly and said, To the Crossroad Mercenary Guild, Your Highness. She turned back and welcomed as, You, the new lord of this land. As was stunned an SR rank. Ash stared blankly, thinking, Really? He sat down. Ash looked at Jupiter and asked, May I ask your name? She immediately replied, Of course. She thumped her chest warmly and introduced herself. My name is Jupiter. It is a pleasure to meet you, sir. He looked at the person before him, thinking, the SR rank Thunder Witch Jupiter. I can't believe she was already here. Ash looked at her and asked, I've never seen this uniform before. Which country is it from? Jupiter touched her clothes and replied, This uniform belongs to our Everblack Empire. You might not recognize it because this design is from several decades ago. Hearing this, he asked, So you used to serve the Empire? She smiled and explained, I served there for 30 years. I was even the commander of the 2nd Witch Squad. When I retired, I made a living as a mercenary. Hearing this, Ash commented, Retired but still sacrificing your body for the country, you truly are a model soldier. Jupiter swirled the drink in her hand and replied, Not really. It's just that the pension wasn't enough to live on. She stopped swirling the glass and asked, So then, Your Highness, what wind brings you here? Ash smiled brightly and explained to Jupiter, What else would I come here for? Of course it's to hire some useful mercenaries. She glanced at him and questioned, Are you sure you came here? Not to buy some bait to die at your place? Lucas glared at her and shouted, Insolent! Ash quickly put his hand out to block him. Lucas, it's all right. Jupiter picked up her cigarette, smiled, and said, Rumors of the battle on the front lines have spread even here, Your Highness. She mocked him. It seems you paid quite a heavy price for your incompetence, didn't you? Smoke billowed up as Jupiter stated, Although it's true, we are lowlifes who earn money through mercenary work. We are not fools who dig our own graves. She placed her hand on the table and continued, None of us wants to give up our lives in the hands of an inexperienced commander. Hearing this, he smiled and replied, I understand. Ash stood up and spoke, But listen to me. He stood before the mercenaries and asked, Aren't all of you here to sell your lives? Everyone listened silently as Ash spoke, Because there's no other way to earn money besides selling your lives, so isn't this your ultimate fate? But now, you're afraid of losing your lives. He slammed his hand hard on the table and questioned, Aren't you the fools digging your own graves? Ash smiled at Jupiter and mocked her. That statement seems a bit odd, damn Jupiter. Jupiter, holding her cigarette, asked back, What? He mocked again. That's right. Your past career was very grand, but weren't you kicked out for secretly embezzling military funds? Ash smirked at Jupiter. Isn't that an act of digging your own grave? He thought, it seems she didn't think I'd know her past. He added further explanation. From corruption to smuggling goods with the enemy when caught red-handed. You were exiled and disgracefully stripped of your rank, yet you're still wearing the military uniform. Ash laughed mockingly at her. How shameful. Images and information about Jupiter appeared in his mind. The embodiment of corruption, a soldier rotten from the inside, a veteran unworthy of respect. She stood amidst swirling thunderstorms. But her combat ability is no joke. A heroine more like a pirate than a soldier. That's this woman, the Thunder Witch Jupiter. Hearing this, Jupiter tried to defend herself. Your Highness, even if my end wasn't good, I am still proud to have been a warrior of the Empire. She gently reminded Ash, please be careful with your words. At this point, he interrupted. How much that pride you just mentioned? How much are you selling it for? Jupiter glared at him. He asked again. I'm asking how much money it takes to turn you into my hunting dog. She calmly stated her price. I may look like this, but I'm very valuable. At least 100,000 onadel per year. The moment she quoted the price, as decisively offered double, causing Jupiter to drop her cigarette, $200,000. Ash repeated his offer, surprising her. I'll double that price to 200,000. He commented, this price is quite high for a mercenary, but I am the prince of the empire and the lord of this city. Ader was exhausted. Furthermore, I also just sold all 400 mana stones. Ash looked at her smugly, wondering internally, wasteful no. I'm willing to pay any price to buy an SR mercenary. Immediately after, Ash held up a card and declared to all the mercenaries present, your fear of death, I will buy it. I will pay double your previous wages now. He cheerfully affirmed, any coward who doesn't want to sell their life can go home. But if you want to become true mercenaries and earn a lot of money, Ash announced to them, then come to the empty lot west of Crossroad tonight. AUSV. After finishing business at the Mercenary Guild, he immediately moved to the church. Inside the church, Maherta was healing Ash. She lifted his shirt and said, done. But there's still a faint scar. Ash replied, thanks, Saintess. Margarita smiled at him. You're welcome, Your Highness. Az looked towards the Saintess and thought, a hidden SR rank heroine and a top-tier healer. Saintess Margarita. After meeting specific conditions, I'll recruit her immediately. Ash adjusted his shirt button, stating, but this isn't the reason I came here today. He placed a bag of gold on the shelf, saying, Saintess, as I contacted you last time. Maherta immediately replied, yes. She stood next to Ash and spoke, I have brought everyone who is currently free here. Ash just smiled slightly and ordered the plan to begin. Damien, I see he's adapting well. He spoke with satisfaction. Then let's proceed immediately. Ash just knew. We have many things to do today. It won't be simple. In the evening, a large funeral was held in the square for the soldiers who had fallen on the battlefield. That night, west of Crossroad, the coffins had been raised. The coffin procession had arrived earlier. A necklace was placed beside someone's grave. He looked ahead solemnly. As thought, soldiers stand in order. The flag of the empire covers each coffin. He recounted a large-scale choir. In a city where death is as common and cheap as this, a full formal funeral is rarely seen. A woman trembled crying before her husband's grave. More important than anything is the compensation given to each family. Ash revealed, many people were shocked by the number killed, and the news spread from person to person throughout the town. Rumors will spread quickly. Ash seemed to accept reality. I don't intend to sugarcoat it. I want to show it. Appropriate respect. The city's symbolic flag appeared. As thought, these are the frontline soldiers, warriors famous for their noble duty. For humanity. He moved forward. At this moment, as introduced himself as the new lord of this land, and also his background as a prince, I am the third prince and the newly appointed Lord Ash Bonehater Everblack. Now whispers and murmurs arose from below. That mad prince, he's the new lord. He looks like he deserves to die. Ash ignored everyone and loudly declared to all the people present, I will speak the truth. He said with a serious expression, besides the frontline troops, everyone else will die continuously. Ash glanced at Jupiter standing in the ranks. He glanced at her and thought, so you came. Ash opened his mouth and said, I will say this, if things continue like this, everyone on the front lines, he seriously affirmed, will die. Ash continued his speech. Every week that passes, rows of new graves will appear in this cemetery, and mournful hymns will echo. Everyone watched him silently. He continued, but I assure you, your deaths are worth more than mere survival. Ash stated, the money for organizing funerals and compensation is enormous. Nearly half the money we earn selling mana stones is used for compensation. Damien stood before a grave praying, that's right, death cannot become something common and cheap. Ash looked ahead and affirmed loudly, that is why I will do my utmost to keep you alive. Lily looked towards him with sad eyes. Ash continued, I will use every means possible to save you and utilize you on the front lines. He reminded them, so don't you dare die easily. Jupiter picked up a cigarette silently listening to Ash's speech. Survive and take your wages from me. The soldiers raised their guns high. He added, don't make me pay for your funerals. A moment later, Ash announced, my speech is over. He felt uneasy inside. I wonder how the people feel about it. After finishing the speech, a step down from the stage, he asked himself, the excuses of an unworthy commander. The decadent revelry of a mad lord. I don't care what they're thinking. I can only prove my point with the upcoming results. Ash silently affirmed that on this harsh front line I deserve to be here more than anyone else. He clasped his hands together, smiled, and said, well then shall we crush Phase 1? System notification Phase 1 begins in 3 days and 1 hour, 73:08. Night fell after the funeral ended. Ash stood next to Lucas in the backyard and recounted, I went to the backyard of the mansion. The two stood there silently for a long while. The system asked him, do you want to activate the teleportation gate? Yes, no. Ash touched the screen and spoke, of course, yes. The stones beneath his feet began to float in the air. They combined to form a gate. The newly created teleportation gate emitted a blinding light. Lucas and Az stood silently before the gate. Lucas asked in astonishment, Your Highness, what is this? Ash smiled and replied, it's the gate leading to the dungeon at the bottom of the lake. Lucas heard this and said, you mean... Ash moved forward, cutting him off. That's right. He raised his hand and smirked, explaining, it's the gate leading directly to the enemy's main headquarters. At this moment, Ash analyzed the game in his head, and the mechanics of this game world is a mix of two genres, tower defense and dungeon crawling. From his experience, it was even written on the game cover Game World, tower defense and dungeon crawling. Ash stated, the phase where monsters storm crossroads is tower defense, and between each phase, he provided more information. While the enemy isn't attacking, explore the dungeon beneath the lake and find the origin of the monsters. Ash continued, dungeon crawling called free exploration. This alternation is the basic structure of this game. Standing before the gate, he thought, so it can be opened before Phase 1. This game is indeed difficult, but not unreasonably so. Ash recounted, of course I struggled a bit during the tutorial section, but this start is already very good. After the difficult beginning phase, he now seemed to regain his spirit with what he had. I get to start with a nearly hacked character like Demian and a long-range powerhouse Jupiter. He happily recounted, not to mention the pile of money. Thinking this, Ash smiled confidently. I have a chance to do it. No, I will definitely do it. After calculating, Ash assigned Lucas the first task after completing the gate setup. I explained the game rules to Lucas and told him to find out the enemy for the next phase. Lucas immediately accepted the order. I answer, understood. He chuckled confidently. I will prepare thoroughly, Your Highness. Ash's face twisted in doubt. That's it. Seeing this, Lucas also didn't understand what was happening. As wondered internally, shouldn't Lucas not understand anything and question almost everything? An image of Ash pointing things out to him in the past appeared. Not only did the prince he served almost his entire life suddenly change, but His Highness also knew everything from the city's design and the dungeon's existence despite arriving here for the first time. That was already too suspicious. Yet Lucas still follows me without questioning anything. He silently marveled, isn't that too strange? Ash suddenly called out, hey. Lucas answered the unspoken question as if it were obvious. Yes, Your Highness? Ash voiced his confusion. Don't you want to ask anything? Hearing this, the expression on his face became somewhat awkward. Your Highness, Ash's face tensed up, wrinkling. Lucas placed his hand on his chest, bowed his head, and affirmed to him, I will only follow your orders. I have no questions. Under the bright moonlight, Lucas continued, I am your sword and shield. He stated clearly, I only slash and block according to your orders. Hearing that answer, Ash appeared quite calm again. Although I know Lucas still has many questions, his loyalty and devotion have erased them all. It's impossible for him to have no questions at all. Ash looked at him, bowing before him, and thought, but he means to say he trusts me more than his own doubts. Ash was so happy his whole body trembled. Lucas, you bastard, I will definitely reward you generously. After regaining his confidence, he turned to face the gate and asked, all right, Lucas, are you ready to enter the tiger's den? Lucas seriously replied, I can climb mountains of blades and descend into seas of fire with Your Highness. Hearing this, Ash smiled with satisfaction. He pressed the option displayed on the screen teleport. Select destination Lake Shore. Both of them stepped through the gate. After the two entered, the gate collapsed. System display loading. Teleporting. Tip heroes can equip items to become stronger. You can obtain items from dungeons or craft them at the forge. Ash angrily shouted, what the hell, stop giving me these tip windows. Don't act all kind. Ash stepped out of the gate. Both were teleported in front of a lake. He observed his surroundings and said, We're here. Ash looked at the calm lake surface and stated, the Black Lake is the origin of the monsters. He looked towards the front of the lake again and thought, a hell that creates nightmares. It's a dungeon located at the southernmost part of the world. Something caught Lucas's attention, and Az followed his gaze. Your Highness, over there. At this moment, the middle of the lake began to bubble for unknown reasons. The water around the lake surface parted, forming a path. Monster arms began to emerge. He saw the head of a monster. Countless suits of armor climbed out of the ground. Ash glared at them, cursing internally. Damn it, don't tell me it's... Recognizing their identity, he wondered, living armor. Ash angrily clenched his teeth. So many monsters. Why did we have to run into these guys? He despaired, knowing the impending enemy was one of the worst choices. Not only that the numbers are completely overwhelming, it doesn't matter which monster we encounter in Phase 1. Ash thought goblins would be fine. Merfolk would be good too. Even wyverns wouldn't matter. He felt despair inside. But among those low-level monsters, rows of monsters gradually appeared. So many of them, I just wanted to avoid these guys. Ash grimaced, clutching his head, blaming the damn rotten luck of this game. Lucas sweated, speaking in confusion. Those guys, they must be the monsters we have to fight this time. He glanced at the system panel. New enemy information has been updated. System display, Phase 1. Enemy information level, unknown quantity, 1. Level 5. Living armor soldier. Quantity, 1052. Ash panicked, thinking, wait, what, $1,000? Lucas widened his eyes cautiously. He asked worriedly, Your Highness, are you all right? You don't look well. Are you feeling unwell somewhere? Sweat dripped down Ash's face as he bit his lip. He swallowed hard and forced himself to call out, Lucas. Ash felt uneasy. I think I said this during the tutorial phase too. Damn it. The growing number of monsters were surrounded by powerful magic. I'm dead again. Ash remembered the past. He clearly expressed his helplessness against this type of monster. 741 times. That's the number of times I reset the game. Each reset had a different reason. But when living armor appeared as the monster for that phase, I didn't hesitate to reset everything. In his memory, living armor is a name implying a monster created from armor with ghosts inside their bodies. The biggest disadvantage, simply put, is that they can resist most physical damage. For example, when you start getting lots of equipment, they become easier to defeat. But right now, everything is terrible. Ash thought angrily about them. If that thing didn't appear, damn it, he clenched his teeth tightly. It's like someone did this on purpose. Someone intentionally stopped me from playing this game. They were trying to climb up from below. 3 days until Phase 3 begins. Az immediately ordered Lucas to retreat as the monster slowly advanced. Fall back! Lucas! He replied, Yes, sir. They headed in the same direction. Az flung the door open. Ader! He called out loudly, Where are you? Ader hesitantly replied, Well, welcome home, master. Ash then asked Ader about the current defense status. What's the city's defense status? We have a total of 526 people who can go to the front lines, sir. After hearing Ader's answer, Az exclaimed in alarm, realizing the current number was incredibly small. I recruited 100 times in a row and only got 500 people. Ader explained the reason, during training most of our soldiers. Az angrily bit his lip. Damn it, you stupid bastard. How many more people can we recruit? Ader replied, We have hired all the mercenaries who came to our city. Az immediately asked, So we can't recruit any more now? He stammered in reply, At least within this city. Yes. Hearing that, he immediately ordered, Then send messages to other cities and recruit soldiers. Tell them we will pay double their weekly wages. He quickly took out a notebook to jot it down. Understood. He carefully instructed, Send a message to the royal palace too. Inform them the monsters have started rising again. We need as many reinforcements as possible. Ader wrote down every detail. He asked, Master, is this really all right? Ader reminded him of the risk. If we request reinforcements from the Empire, now later events in the game will be devastated. Ash also knew this internally. But what else can I do now? I need to live. Ash made a firm decision. It's fine. Just send the message. Ader loyally obeyed. Understood. Ash ordered the paper sent. Oh, one more thing. Gather all the carpenters, stonemasons, blacksmiths, and alchemists in this city. No send out military conscription notices. Ader objected slightly. But if you do that, sir, the mana stone production line will halt. But Ash's fierce will to live made him obediently listen. This city is about to turn to dust. Why are you worried about mana stone production? Stop all production activities and bring them here. Ader immediately obeyed. Ununderstood, I will summon them quickly. Ash then went into his private room. He stood silently for a moment, then sighed. Now, this game is no longer at a normal difficulty level. I couldn't decide. But Ash opened the data. Now I don't have the time or space to wait any longer. He was making a decision. The higher the game's difficulty, the more valuable things I need to create. System notification. Rookie commander. Do you want to select this job class? Yes, no. He thought. So I've decided to gamble. Ash quickly decided. All right, yes. Damn it. System congratulates. Congratulations. Ash X has become a rookie commander. He complained helplessly. What kind of effect is this? Just then, his heart throbbed. Ash turned pale, panting. What's happening? That feeling just now. System warning, applying debuff. 50% reduction in stat growth. His face froze, disbelieving what he saw. What did it just say? System continued with urgent news. Applying debuff. 50% reduction in item proficiency. Ash stared blankly, pausing for a few seconds. This made Ash furious, yelling so loudly it shook the mansion. What the hell are you kidding me? This isn't funny at all. Now, he looked like a ferocious demon. What the hell is this? Damn it! What kind of job class gives a pile of debuffs? He hastily grabbed the poker. What kind of scam is this, Aider? You damn tutorial bastard. I'll definitely kill you. Whoa. The system sent a series of notifications. You have acquired the trait attack totem. You have acquired the trait defense totem. You have acquired the trait super buff. You have acquired the trait command authority. System available synergy power. Ash was about to hit it, but stopped to look at the system panel. What's this? The fireplace was still blazing. He read each line carefully. Defense totem. When you are present on the battlefield, troop morale increases. All allies receive an additional 5% defense points. Super buff. All buffs provided by the commander character are enhanced by 1 level. Attack totem level 1 when you are present on the battlefield. Troop morale increases. All allies receive an additional 5% attack points. Command authority level 1, ability to provide precise orders on the battlefield. The commander's intent will be conveyed clearly and accurately. Subordinates can fight exactly as the commander desires. Ash wondered, I can buff all soldiers. He deduced, so that means just by standing on the battlefield, everyone's attack and defense will increase. Now I understand why they had to apply the debuffs first. Ash paused. Honestly, this is amazing. He analyzed each type. Synergy power commander level benefits depend on the combination of each member's job class. The party can gain a new skill. Try different combinations. There's also a job change system. Ash thinking as a player. For a gamer like me, this job class is overwhelmingly perfect. He picked up that poker, then placed it neatly in a corner. In a flash, it was the next morning. In his office, Ash was dumbfounded. Can you explain what this is? Aider explained. The thing is, no one responded to the military conscription order. He had kidnapped 4 people and brought them before Az. So in a hurry, I brought the union leaders. Ash felt embarrassed. All that talk, it's still just kidnapping. The blacksmith union leader started yelling, wondering what was happening. What absurdity is this? Both the carpenter and stonemason union leaders also protested. How could you drag us here like this? Sir, will you take responsibility if the production flow encounters any problems? And the alchemist union leader complained, even if you are royalty, sir, whatever you want must wait for the proper time. Facing this situation, Ash internally wanted a gentle solution. See, everyone's angry now. Look how they're shouting until their veins pop. First, I should probably apologize. However, his words, actions, and aura made all 4 choke up. Do you want to die, you bastards? Killing intent rose on his face. Where do you think you're yelling so loudly, huh? Don't you know who I am? Ash slammed the table and snapped, as the prince and lord in the city where you live. If summoned by me, even if you had to abandon the entire production process, kneel and crawl straight here, it still wouldn't be enough. He glared at them. But now you dare affect my mood. You really want to die, don't you? Huh? They simultaneously looked pitiful. We apologize. This is the first time a prince has become the lord of this city, so... He noticed the opponents had lost their ability to resist. At times like this, Ash's title is really useful. After that, the negotiation proceeded smoothly. He had the ropes untied and began the negotiation. They resisted. Huh, really? Is that true? He presented the benefits. Of course. I will give you 20% of the mana stones the army collects at cost price. Ash explained. If a direct mana stone buyback line is established, aren't you the ones who benefit? Let's cooperate. He was confident with this condition. In exchange, whenever I give an order, items for war must be prioritized for production. Naturally, I will pay fairly based on production. They marveled. Wow. Ash glanced. Isn't this deal too good? He had grasped their psychology. Using the cards of money and power, I was able to lure them in. This negotiation is all I can do right now. He felt a bit tormented. Does this make me materialistic? Hearing that, all 4 agreed simultaneously, and the negotiation ended with mutual benefit. I'll do it. What's so difficult? What should we do? When do we start? Sir, he wondered, what can I do? As knew very well, in this world, nothing is more trustworthy than money. In Ash's mind, Everyone probably heard this from Lucas already. The terrible truth, the monsters, more precisely, the 1,000-year-old living armor soldiers, Ash estimated, are advancing towards this city. Their estimated arrival time is about 2 days from now. He immediately opened a small internal meeting. Both Lily and Damien gasped, showing clear despair. Jupiter, standing in a corner, was also startled upon hearing it. Ash thought, I can see 3 words, I'm screwed, on their faces. Lucas got straight to the point. What do you need us to do? Your Highness, Ash replied, utilize everything we have. Ash began assigning tasks. From now on, I will give specific instructions to each person. Sunlight shone down on the mansion. He assigned Lucas to be the overall military commander. An aura radiated around him. I will do my best. Ash instructed, soldier morale will waver. Keep them steady. Lucas replied, yes, sir. Lily hesitated. Your Highness, she was concerned about this issue. As I see it, as quickly shut down her intention. Sorry, Lily, but right now I really need your help. He smiled. You won't have to go to the front line, so don't worry too much. Lily immediately asked, why, sir? Then what must I do? Although unable to move, she was given the important responsibility of overseeing repairs. I understand. Besides that, Ash also used the defense totem buff on her. He thought, sorry for doing this to you, Lily. You probably won't get any rest. Ash crossed his arms and looked up at the ceiling. She will continue to be a dedicated citizen for this city, for the rest of her life. Jupiter took the opportunity to ask, may I ask something, Your Highness? The annual salary you mentioned. I see. She wondered, if a mercenary like me performs well, will it be increased? As cursed internally, this money-grubbing old hag, as suddenly remembered Jupiter's special attribute, equipped attribute, Gold Digger, cannot be removed. An attribute that makes people crazy for money, especially gold. Exactly like what I saw in the game. Damn it. He had no choice but to agree. Of course, I will increase your salary based on the results you bring. She became smugger. Then you'd best start thinking about the raise for next year, Your Highness. Ash assigned Jupiter as the captain of the Special Operations Force. Jupiter said confidently, you won't find another mercenary as capable as me anywhere else. He ordered Ader to give the crossbow to him. Take it, Demian. I prepared this for you. Demian hesitated. Your Highness, this is... Information appeared. Common crossbow, N level 10. Attack 10-15 durability, 30-30, bonus, none. I will try my best. Demian took it and replied with confident and enthusiastic eyes. If that is your wish, Your Highness. Ash looked slightly worried. His posture holding the crossbow doesn't seem very reliable, but seeing how accurately he fires the energy cannon, he'll probably get used to it quickly. He suddenly asked, oh, by the way, where are your glasses? Did you decide not to wear them anymore? Hearing the question, Damien explained the reason. Actually, my eyesight is too good. He scratched his head shyly. So I intentionally wore random glasses to limit my vision, sir. Damien gave a bright smile. But now eyesight is very important, so I decided to take the glasses off. He received enthusiastic support from everyone. Ader spoke up. Thank goodness I was worried about the overlap of characters wearing glasses. Ash immediately cut him off. Can you keep quiet for a bit? After finishing the strategy meeting, Az went to the eastern wall of Crossroad. They ran over and bowed. Well, welcome, Your Highness. Az asked about the work progress. All right, I'm here. How is the castle? Wall. He answered with some concern. Not very good. It has been neglected for a long time. Az fell silent for a moment. He turned to scold Ader. If this city's name is Fortress City, isn't repairing the walls the most basic task? Why did you let this place become like this? He hesitated and replied, because we didn't have the funds. Ader explained, because monsters appeared less frequently, monostone production also decreased, so the previous castle owner cut the budget. After hearing the reason, Ash scratched his head in frustration. Wasn't the purpose of this fortress from the beginning to stop monsters? The castle's monster fighting function gradually disappeared because income from those monsters decreased? How ironic. Immediately after, he quickly gave the order, just use all the budget and materials I have, reinforce and repair it until it can't be any better. Understood. They immediately replied, yes, Your Highness, get to work, the monsters are right on our doorstep. Now Ash went straight to the wood workshop. He discussed with them, you've probably heard about the situation. What you need to do in the next 3 days, Ash said confidently, is a wooden wall. The man was startled. What, sir? Ash described his desire, a wooden wall. Don't you understand that wall this high? Got it to block the path. Hearing this, the man felt confused and also offered his opinion. I regret to tell you this, Your Highness, but the monsters will break through a wooden wall easily. It's hard to expect much defensive effect from a wooden wall, but Ash immediately stated his point. What I need isn't a sturdy wall to stop them completely. What, sir? Then why, sir? The man hesitated. What, sir? Then why, sir? Ash repeated it. What you need to do is just make the wooden wall according to my specifications. Ash described dramatically a wall that is really tall. He elaborated further, and resistant, Ash referred to it like something sacred. That damn kind of wall. The man couldn't help but wonder. What do you mean, sir? The atmosphere became silent as Ash suddenly realized. He immediately urged everyone to get to work. Enough. Stop asking. Get to work right now. Time flew, only 2 days remained. Lucas had fully arranged the soldiers. Damien trained diligently. Jupiter, meanwhile, was waiting idly, as was furious with Ader when things didn't go his way. Lily cooperated with the alchemists. All preparations were complete. Under leaves fluttering in the wind, time gradually passed. After so much effort, the wall was finished. System notification stage 1, 30 minutes remaining before start, 003124. They were watching from afar. Suddenly, they saw something emerge from the bushes. That soldier signaled the entire army. They're coming in. They beat drums to signal they're charging. The monsters had begun to advance. They moved with rapid speed, bringing along a swarm as numerous as ants. On the wall, alertness was high. Fire was being heated. Ash stepped forward at this moment and shouted, "There's nothing to fear," although his words were heroic only as knew how terrible the current situation was. He continued, "They are just a bunch of weaklings." Ash imagined inwardly, reality facing the living armor army is the worst tragedy in the first half of the game. Ash encouraged, "We are the strongest army in the Southern Kingdom." But reality, my army is basically just a bunch of ragged mercenaries, including old men past their prime and rookies who don't know a damn thing. He commanded, "Hydromagic is ready. All the most advanced equipment has been prepared." But the truth was, reality. No matter how much money you have, you can never equip enough. Ash majestically encouraged everyone. "Victory is in our hands, nothing to worry about." Yet I'm still very confidently showing off, boasting without batting an eye. He motivated them further. "Everyone fight with all your might." Ash smiled positively. "So that tonight our entire army can sit together and raise a toast to victory. On the battlefield, just having one warrior is enough." However, this battle still had hope thanks to Jupiter, the core element, as it spent much gold to secure the service of. He chuckled inwardly. "It's all thanks to you, Jupiter." Thunder rumbled around the battlefield, signaling Jupiter was now in a ready stance. "Half the effort of this battle depends on you." Along with her squad, they were ready for battle. "Let's fight, rookies. That light mage I hired at a cutthroat price has started to act." The sound of horses galloping rapidly on the road. All monsters, soldiers trying to surround them, all shared one purpose. Jupiter, with a tense expression, was still puffing on her cigar, as knew their intention well. Kill the humans standing before them. He deduced, if there are no obstacles, they will move to kill the nearest human possible. In other words, they react very quickly. But their position has been trapped. Which direction they move is very clear, so the traps work extremely effectively. Jupiter stood observing the situation. "We don't have enough time to understand them thoroughly." He immediately shouted the order, "Do it now, Jupiter," but that's enough. Dark clouds gathered along with lightning flashes. Jupiter was confident with the light thunder, magic in her hand. Well then, she attacked without hesitation. "Let me work worthy of my pay." Jupiter used a skill descending upon the monsters. Skill 1, floating. White tiger. The monsters were distorted by the light thunder shock. Then she observed them. That skill wasn't enough to destroy them. After getting up, they were more agile than before. Jupiter felt insulted. "Where are you looking? Learn to respect your elders, you damn monsters." She immediately vented her anger on them. But even that couldn't kill the monsters. Ash was startled, looking out. "That pattern is Jupiter's mark." She lowered her cigarette. Jupiter furiously retorted, "Tonight's dinner is fried armor, kids." She went berserk, no different from a monster. Jupiter unleashed her next skill. Eat slowly and chew carefully. Skill 2. Refloating white. The soldiers on the wall cheered. As chuckled inwardly, enemies marked by the first skill. And the second skill will finish off the marked targets. System numbers ticked up, kills 56. He watched with pride. "Excellent, Jupiter." Ash looked towards Jupiter on the front lines with the rookies. But anyway, the monsters hit by Jupiter's skill disintegrated. But they didn't stop there. Enemy kills reached 1,000. Even more monsters charged forward, as mentally questioned, that last attack was nothing more than a tiny scratch. He immediately gave the order, "Retreat, Jupiter." She also sensed the danger. "Let's go." Jupiter and the rookies rode horses to escape. The monsters chased closely behind. She tried to remind them, "Run, run, rookie. Don't look back. Just keep running." Ash watched the overview of the battle from above. Just as planned, he gave the next order. "Do as I told you. Everyone hold your positions." One of the rookies was about to be caught by the monsters. Ash clenched his teeth fearfully. "Just a little more." Jupiter shouted loudly, "Get inside." He replied, "Yes, ma'am." They all spurred their horses as fast as possible. They entered the wall, followed by the monsters. Ash was relieved. Nice move, Jupiter. The gate was slowly opening. The monsters reached the gate. They stopped before it. Ash wondered, "Welcome. This is the first time you've encountered battlements, isn't it?" Ash stood with arms crossed. What now? Choose. He deduced the situation, go around or destroy. Jupiter turned her head back to grasp the situation. Either way, your choice is blindingly obvious. Ash's purpose, kill the humans before you. He cursed. That's right, you stupid monster bastards. Ash had anticipated, if we block your path, you'll break the wall and continue charging. They're crowding together in a tight space. He quickly raised his hand high and shouted the command, "Everyone prepare to fire." Ash watched the struggling monsters being squeezed. Their ranks are narrowing and they're losing mobility. He stepped forward. "We've waited long enough, my soldiers." Now, Ash was more confident than ever. Don't hold back fire. Fire projectiles were launched from the fortress. Other cannons were fired one after another. Those fire projectiles concentrated on the monsters. They panicked, unable to resist. Then they were blown to pieces by the exploding fire projectiles. These are the basics of basic defense game tactics. Their comrades looked at each other helplessly. The entire area where they stood was blown apart. Control the path. He had determined this is the kill zone. Ash commanded further, fire shoot, keep shooting. Suddenly, Damien paused. He was slightly concerned. If it continues like this, I wonder if it will be enough. Damien was optimistic. The monsters, they won't be able to cross that boundary. Ash interrupted. No, not yet. But there are still some among them that feel nothing. They lined up one by one, then gathered in groups to block the cannonballs. Ash now felt the need for caution. That's right. There's no way it ended just like that. These tough-as-nails bastards. Damn it. The monster stood defiantly before the fire cannons. Ash sweated as he faced them. Right. Of course. It can't end here like this. Those stubborn bastards. Damn it. But I anticipated this and prepared already, you bastards. He urgently turned and called, "Lily, activate it." Hearing the order, Lily shouted, "Yes, Your Highness." Activating the gravity well generator. Accumulating energy. It was gradually activating. The alchemists chanted in unison, "The artifact is activating." The energy source enveloped them. The monsters were pressed down by the energy pressure. Ash urgently moved to the next part. "They're slowing down, Lucas." Hearing this, Lucas relayed the order. "Yes, Your Highness, archery unit, prepare." The soldiers adjusted their aim with bows and arrows. Archers were positioned ready. Lucas raised his sword high and shouted, "Aim for the soul core in the center of their chests." "Knock!" He yelled loudly, "Fire!" The soldiers responded, "Yes, sir, fire." Arrows pierced through them. Others were pierced by arrows one after another. The monsters' souls were about to leave their bodies. Ash observed the situation, inflicting trauma from two streams of projectiles simultaneously and then finishing them off with the artifact and ballistae. "All right, just as planned." Someone rushed over hastily. He reported, "Your Highness, the monsters are moving around the wall." As was surprised by the news. "What?" Facing the imminent danger. Ash clenched his teeth. "I anticipated this possibility, but I didn't think there would be so many." He looked down and called, "Jupiter." Ash deployed another plan. "I entrust the living armor troops massing on the right flank of the fortress to you. Stop them and use hit-and-run tactics." She smiled. "As you wish." Jupiter moved quickly. "Let's get to work. Hurry up." The monsters charged madly. In her hand was a wave of electricity. "Take this." Everything seemed to be going according to his plan. Good Jupiter has stopped that side. Only the left flank remains. He immediately called out, "Damien, it's your turn." Damien flinched. Right. Ash ordered him. "Shoot down the monsters attacking from the left flank." Damien replied, "Yes." He took a deep breath to calm himself. Damien focused his concentration on the shot. He immediately activated. An arrow was quickly shot from it. That arrow flew straight towards the monster standing below. It pierced right into the monster's body. Their ghosts also flew away. The armor then fell to the ground. Damien stared blankly in happiness. Hit. Ash was silently proud. So this is clairvoyance. Shooting down the soul core of a ghost with just a common crossbow. He looked at Damien, focusing intently, and thought, how terrifying will this overwhelming talent become? Ash pondered the battlefield tactics. Use the central area as the main attack point. The arrangement was going according to his plan. Jupiter on the right flank. Here. And Damien defending the left flank. The notification panel was tallying the data defeated 457. An event worth pondering? We have nearly eliminated 500 lives. Ash smiled smugly. At this rate, I guess everything will go smoothly until the boss monster appears itself. Although occasionally short on resources, preparing meticulously to this extent was truly worth it. Suddenly, their souls retained a shred of existence. They concentrated, flying in one direction, surprising him. What the devil? The souls flew into the sky, gathering into a source of magical power. as stared blankly at the sky. There was nothing like this in the game. The system stopped at the count defeated 500. That source of magical power grew increasingly terrifying. It accumulated into the final boss monster. His face turned pale. Ash suddenly remembered information about it. Level 25 Nightmare 1. Level 5 Living Armor Legion 552. Kin 500. The monster leading the Living Armor Legion. He felt disadvantaged seeing its form. Nightmare. This thing is the source of power for the entire Living Armor Legion. Ash imagined inwardly. The Legion itself was already very strong, but even if you managed to defeat them all, you would still encounter the second obstacle, the boss monster. But we haven't even defeated all the living armor yet. Why has it appeared already? He was still trying to devise a strategy. The nightmare has manifested but remains motionless. Ash was guessing its position. It's not creating any disadvantageous aura, nor does it look like it's preparing for a fierce attack. It just stands still floating in midair. However, this is no longer a game. This is reality. The soldiers also began to panic. What is that thing? As also grasped the current situation. Just by appearing suddenly in the sky, it's enough to terrify all the soldiers. Ash immediately turned his head. Damn it. This is the difference between human warfare and war between humans and monsters. He remembered images of them from before, the primal fear before the manifestation of a grotesque creature. At this moment, Ash was extremely anxious seeing the soldiers' reactions. Just the appearance of that monster alone has terrified the soldiers and made them lose all initial morale. Moreover, it's not just humans who are afraid. The horses also began to resist. Jupiter was extremely annoyed now. She tried to control the horse disobeying her. It threw her off, making her hit her head on the ground. The monsters were now aiming. Her companions rushed forward, signaling each other, "Damn it, get into position quickly." They stood around protecting Jupiter. Protect the mage. Seeing this, Ash felt a bit confused. Endless thoughts appeared in his mind. Jupiter, the main power on the first floor, and the hero party are in danger. Lucas worriedly reported everything. "Your Highness, we must use cannons and artillery to support Jupiter's party." Hearing this, Ash quickly turned back and answered him. "No, if the kill zone disappears, many other enemies will appear." Lucas became even more confused. "But Your Highness." At this moment, the scene became extremely chaotic. The soldiers in front were quite bewildered by this dark spectacle. The soldiers are panicking greatly at the appearance of the boss monster. This battle was incredibly fierce. Explosions occurred ceaselessly. The cannons and catapults stopped firing, and the gapless defensive line immediately fell. Ash turned back and ordered all the soldiers, "Quickly focus on restoring the kill zone. All soldiers have lost their minds." Lucas, standing there, immediately carried out the task. "Understood, Your Highness." His face grew increasingly worried as he looked ahead. "Sorry, Jupiter. Don't give up." On the other side, Jupiter woke up confused after a long sleep. A thought appeared in her mind. "Where am I?" She quickly woke up fully and raised her hand to her eyes to observe the situation. At this moment, her hand was covered in drops of blood slowly falling to the ground. "Damn it! What am I doing at this age?" Just then, a worried soldier ran over shouting towards her. "Countess Jupiter, can you hear me? We have to go. Countess Jupiter." Immediately after, she was startled seeing the scene right in front of her. "But I was trying my best to attack and fight back against the enemy." Jupiter struggled to stand up and angrily spoke. "What kind of damn situation is this? It seems now is not the time to lie sprawled on the ground." The key soldier worriedly signaled her, "Reinforcements will arrive soon. We just need to survive until—" Before he could finish his sentence, a monster holding a weapon charged straight towards him. Seeing this, he quickly turned his head back to react. Luckily, this guy was also the agile type, so he quickly finished off this monster. But it seemed this monster wasn't ordinary either. Very quickly, its feet dug straight down into the ground below. Its eyes looked forward furiously, with its head already crushed. Seeing this, he panicked and shouted loudly, "Bastard, beaten like that and still alive." Seeing this scene, Jupiter was startled, suddenly realizing something wasn't right. She hastily shouted a warning, "Rookie, behind you, behind." But it seemed she discovered it too late. A spear pierced straight through this soldier. His eyes glanced back in utter confusion. Then he fell into thought. "Behind me? I'm sure I killed all the monsters around me already." When he turned his head back, a monster had used a spear to pierce straight through him, making him unable to believe his eyes. While he still didn't understand what was happening, other monsters continuously charged towards him, with weapons attacking. Just like that, he departed in agony before Jupiter's surprised eyes. He could only scream helplessly, "Help! Help me!" Seeing this scene, she clenched her teeth in anger. She angrily spoke, "I'll mince all of you, you damn monsters." Suddenly, as she reached her hand forward, she discovered something wasn't right. Jupiter looked at her hand in confusion, then spoke again, wondering, Damn it, I can't control my own magic? Elsewhere, the girl on the battlefield was also constantly overwhelmed by the monster screaming madly, "Get away, get away!" Immediately after she was pierced straight through by spears and died. The remaining male mage saw this scene and felt a flicker of fear. Immediately after, he dropped his weapon shield to the ground and frantically ran forward as fast as possible. But these monsters didn't spare him. They slowly raised the spears in their hands. Immediately after, this monster threw the spear straight towards him as he fled, and another person died from a spear piercing through them. Jupiter witnessed all these scenes from the side. She seemed surprised. This small defensive line, consisting of only a few members, was instantly destroyed. They slowly walked towards them. These monsters were still slowly advancing towards her. Jupiter caught a scent, the living armor in front of her, the stench of rusty armor and corpse water. A very strange and terrifying smell emanated from them, the smell of the drowned. She coldly used her power, preparing to cast magic. "You should just stay at the bottom of the lake." Now she became extremely angry, yelling madly at this mob. "Why won't you let this old lady receive her salary in peace?" Immediately after, she struck all of them directly with lightning. Just like that, they fell to the ground, their life force slowly dissipating. Jupiter stood there tiredly panting. She had used too much energy. This isn't even 1/4 of my normal ability. Now she looked helplessly towards the monsters advancing with weapons. She thought in panic, "I'm done for." Suddenly, she turned to Peak and instructed, "Run." Seeing this, he was a bit confused. "Huh? What?" She continued speaking to him. "At least our team still has survivors. I'll use magic to buy time, so run quickly." Dowachi. Hearing his commander say such words, he quickly retorted, "I can't go. This is the best I can do. You're a mage." Seeing this, she was slightly surprised. "What?" Peak held his spear, walking in front of her, constantly speaking, philosophically. The second survival rule of a mercenary: always stand beside the team's mage. His eyes became extremely determined, staring straight ahead. "Instead of abandoning the horse and fleeing, I'll have a higher chance of survival if I support you." Hearing these words, she, as if frozen on the spot, the young mercenary's strategy had worked. Immediately after, he used his spear to quickly attack this horde of zombies. He stood there continuously using his weapon to quickly push them back. He wasn't killing the zombies, he just pushed them away with his long staff and increased the distance. Peak turned his head and signaled to Jupiter. He kept cheering, "I'll use every means to block them, so you just need to focus on preparing the next spell." On the other side, Demian was trying to use a gun to support her. Damian had provided support from the castle, but now the monsters were becoming more numerous, and Peak being alone made it difficult for him, but it still wasn't enough to stop the enemy. Jupiter clenched her fists, her hand slowly opening to reveal a stream of blue light the moment she had enough magic power to create a light arrow. Immediately after, Peak was completely pierced by hundreds of spears, causing him to die on the spot. The young mercenary's body was pierced by hundreds of monster spears. Seeing this, she became so enraged that she shouted loudly in anger. Immediately after, lightning bolts appeared in the sky, striking the horde of monsters decisively and quickly. She stood there among the corpses of her comrades on the battlefield, lost in thought about something. She wondered if she could have gathered her strength just a little faster. Could she have saved him? Peak was collapsed on the ground, looking unwilling to give up, his tears continuously falling. Due to this painful death, she was too old to accept each death leaving before her eyes. She sighed, glanced at him, and then asked with great confusion, "Hey recruit, what's the first survival rule for a mercenary?" "1." Then on the battlefield, he used his remaining strength to answer Jupiter, "Don't take any job that will cost us dearly." The pain caused him to gradually lose his senses and slowly close his eyes. "Mom." The last image he saw was the sky turning pitch black. Facing the relentlessly advancing monsters, Jupiter sighed and said, "All your survival rules are wrong, recruit. You can't become a mercenary like this." She angrily clenched her fists with the pulling power in her hands. "If you want to get rich." Immediately after, she rushed straight towards them, shouting, "If you want fame." She decisively used her power to attack the monsters right in front of her. "Just take dangerous jobs and earn a lot of money." As if the monster was quickly defeated, her voice continued to ring out, "And stay as far away from mages as possible." "Why, you ask?" Standing on the battlefield, she panted tiredly. "Because they're the ones who will take all the credit." Her arm was gradually becoming frighteningly shaky. "Above all, if you want to survive, then you shouldn't become a new mercenary." Then she laughed, bringing a cigarette to her lips despite her whole body trembling. She helplessly looked at her arm, trembling strangely from overuse. "I don't even have enough strength to light it anymore." This ant-like horde of monsters continued to charge forward. Seeing this, she sighed, "I thought I could just live comfortably and collect my pay." Then a strange smile appeared on her face. "So this is what comfort is like." At this moment, a horse quickly ran over, still alive. Lucas on horseback wielded his sword and charged straight towards these monsters. One move from him quickly defeated all the monsters blocking her path. Jupiter was stunned by this sight. Lucas slowly turned his head and looked at her with an extremely puzzled expression. Time rewinded to a while ago, a few minutes earlier on the city wall. Ash's voice kept ringing out, "Focus on safety. All the soldiers are panicking." Hearing this, Lucas nodded in understanding and replied, "Understood, Your Highness." He looked ahead worriedly and fell into thought. "Sorry, Jupiter, just hold on a little longer." Seeing his soldiers didn't look very enthusiastic, he angrily hit them. "Get your spirits up, you fools." Immediately after was his philosophy lesson for all the soldiers here: don't be discouraged just because of the monster size. At this moment, the system displayed a notification, "Skill Indomitable Command activated." Seeing this, everyone stammered, "Ununderstood." Immediately after, the soldiers here instantly regained their morale and roared, "We're not afraid of you." Ash saw this and was a bit frozen in fear, falling into confusion. What are you guys doing? You're scaring me." He looked at his own glowing hands. "Don't tell me." At this moment, information about this skill appeared on the screen. Indomitable Command helps encourage morale, increases the spirit of allied soldiers within a 10-meter radius. Seeing this, he thought in surprise, this skill not only counters the oppressive mental decline, but can also rally disheartened soldiers. Then he quickly turned his head and ordered us, "Lucas?" "Yes?" He quickly obeyed, "Your Highness." Then he continued to assign him a task. "I will be responsible for reassuring the troops and re-establishing the safe zone. Lucas, you..." His face was extremely determined as he announced this mission. "Will lead the rescue team go open the city gates and rescue Jupiter's army." A thought appeared in his mind. "Enter the death zone, rescue your comrades." Although he knew well that this was not good, it was a foolish command. But Lucas spoke to him with a determined look in his eyes. "Yes, Your Highness, I promise to return as soon as possible." Seeing this, Az looked surprised. Lucas showed no hesitation at all. Ash watched from above as Lucas rode away. Alone on horseback, he told himself, "You must succeed, Lucas." Immediately after, he turned back to the soldiers who were constantly shouting and cursing, "Cheer up, you idiots, wake up." On the other side, Lucas quickly reached Jupiter. He brandished his sword forward. With just one gentle move, he quickly defeated the monsters one by one. Jupiter saw this and was a bit bewildered, not daring to believe her eyes. His gaze was still very determined as he looked at her. Then he slowly spoke, "Hold on tight." Seeing this, she was momentarily confused, not understanding what was happening. Before she could understand, he quickly pulled her by her clothes and left. Lucas spurred his horse and shouted the command, "Go!" The two of them rode together on the horse, galloping quickly forward with determined eyes. Seeing these soldiers became extremely angry looking ahead. A second later, they simultaneously threw their spears towards the two people's horse. The spears, confirming my presence, thoughts, were continuously thrown here. But Lucas seemed extremely calm in the face of this. He quickly broke the spears with one move. Suddenly, his broad back shielded her, making Jupiter a bit surprised and curious. "Hey, young knight, what's wrong?" She continued to suggest, "I have a granddaughter, maybe you'd be interested in her. She's a good girl." Hearing this, he immediately turned back, looked at her coldly, and said, "If you still have energy to joke, then use it to recover your magic. There are still many monsters ahead." She laughed in surprise and amusement. Towards his master, he will be as gentle and devoted as possible. But if it's not with the prince, Lucas will be colder than ice. Then she seemed a bit hesitant, smiled, and voiced all her thoughts. "Well then, thank you for saving me." "No need to thank me, I'm just following His Highness's orders." Lucas was still focused on riding forward, but he looked at the battlefield where the monsters were continuously watching the two figures leave. "Sorry, Your Highness, perhaps I can't return soon." Jupiter sighed, looking at the monsters, and said, "Let's just blow away all these monsters first, then we can regret later." At this moment, both of them looked at the commander. Monster high above her voice kept ringing out. It's been a long time since this old man. Her eyes had started to glow with the indignation in her heart, angry to this extent. On the other side, many large explosions occurred right here, but they were shielded by a white protective barrier thanks to Indomitable Command. The kill zone was re-established in just a moment. Ash stood high above, looking at the horse carrying Lucas, and Jupiter, feeling a bit happy. Jupiter has also returned safely. But he himself fell into bewildering thoughts. He remembered the 4 characters in the game. But I also lost 4 precious heroes in just a moment. I was too arrogant about my own gaming skills. The more he thought, the more it made him ponder something for a long time. Even in a game, I have to be able to direct the soldiers' morale. Words like fear or confusion were almost very unfamiliar in my vocabulary, but in reality, everything is much more detailed and varied. The image of the white horse gradually losing strength appeared in his mind. I completely didn't anticipate that the war horses would also be terrified. Thinking of this, his eyes looked down with a hint of bewilderment. Because this is the real world, I need to calculate much more meticulously. That's also Now, right in front of the fortress, flames were continuously flaring up fiercely. The outcome of reality, the fire was spreading further and further due to the firepower from the artillery's cannons. These flames continuously spread to the wooden beams, destroying the shields. The kill zone gradually weakened, and the enemy was swarming in. Taking this opportunity as the teeming monsters gradually approached this place, Ash bewildered thought and reminded himself, now we have to fight along the city wall. If possible, I want to end it with just firepower. At this moment, a notification appeared right in front of him. Seeing this, he was happy for himself. At least we've defeated many more. It's worth a try. He looked around the entire chaotic area and tried to reassure himself, this battlefield is still within my control. At this moment, Lucas announced, Your Highness, we've rescued Countess Jupiter. Seeing this, he thought happily. Lucas has reluctantly accepted Jupiter as a countess. He looked at his handsome but somewhat unreadable face and pondered something. It seems he refuses to acknowledge because she was once expelled from the army for insubordination, but preserving someone's dignity is a wise decision. He smiled and greeted Jupiter. Jupiter, I'm very happy to see you return alive. She spoke sadly. I am extremely ashamed, Your Highness. This old woman has made too many mistakes. At this moment, she dropped her blood-covered hands to the ground and sighed. I have caused these young and inexperienced recruits to sacrifice themselves in vain. How shameful. Seeing her spirits were low, he immediately spoke to comfort her. You had no idea such a monster would suddenly appear in mid-air, and you also didn't know the war horses would go mad. It's not your fault. But this stubborn Jupiter still wouldn't listen. She sighed, looking at her injured hands. No, it's my fault. I've fought in battles for so many years at this age, and I still can't fully satisfy Your Highness. Then her eyes gradually became more determined and she clenched her fists. That's why I vowed to defeat them to avenge this. She looked at the giant monster high above and made a decision. At all costs, I will take that monster's head. His voice slowly rang out. Focus on recovering Jupiter. You'll need your abilities soon. At this moment, the horde of monsters continuously rushed forward to attack quickly. On the other side, the city wall didn't stay idle either, as immediately ordered the cannons below to fire. Feeling the situation was not good, he quickly turned his head and shouted an order. The kill zone is no longer active. Ceasefire. Seeing this, they nodded and stammered in agreement. Yes, but our side here slowly stopped firing and panted, looking down below. Seeing Demian look exhausted, he ordered, Damien, rest for a moment. He turned his head back a bit worriedly and explained, but the enemy is still coming. Before he could finish his sentence, As slowly approached and placed a hand on his shoulder, you still have a big prey to catch. He also didn't forget to remind him, rest a bit to regain your strength, okay? Hearing that, he finally nodded in agreement. As you command, Your Highness. And what was bound to happen, happened. Finally, the enemy had reached the city wall. This horde of living armor madly smashed things here. Seeing the sturdy wall couldn't be broken, the living armors, they used their hands to claw deep marks into the wall's surface. Then they slowly climbed up the towering city wall here, having climbed up to get inside. Ash took a breath and ordered all the soldiers inside the city wall, prepare for close combat. EU. Everyone had their weapons ready in hand and nodded in agreement. Understood. Prepare for close combat. His voice continued to ring out. Close combat legion form up in front. These legions immediately advance forward resolutely. Form up in front. A battle without magic. A battle purely based on physical strength. Seeing the scene before him, he paled slightly with worry. A real battle. The sky was still pitch black. The soldiers were still trying to advance to fight. It's only just begun. The horde of monsters continuously rushed forward barehanded. They quickly charged upwards with their determination. Ash's voice rang out, prepare! Immediately after, the soldiers looked down below with some anxiety. These armored monsters continued to crawl high up towards the front. He observed the whole situation from one side, then raised his hand. Not yet. Wait. At this moment, they were even closer to crawling onto the top of the city wall. Seeing the opportunity had come, he shouted loudly to his subordinates, now, drop them. His voice kept ringing out, quickly drop them. The soldiers were continuously carrying huge pots of earth and stone. Just like that, large iron and steel rocks were poured down, crushing these monsters. Pour faster. They were a combination of stone fragments, steel, and some items left over from the reinforcement construction process. They fell to the ground and died like falling straw. I placed them in front of the fortress walls. Immediately after, these large boulders crushed all of them easily. Many living armors fell to the ground and shattered. But instead, a few survivors slowly stood up, but the rest of them stood up again. Ash saw this and sighed with some anger, thinking, this is really troublesome. Even if hit by that stone and steel combination, they still get up and climb the wall. They continued to charge up the wall madly, his voice continuously ordering the soldiers, use spears to push them down. Seeing this, he immediately opened the system and made a decision. We need to reorganize the squad. Jupiter is the main member. Immediately after the system was activated, in an instant, activate party synergy power. A system map appeared right before his eyes. In it were two different paths. Field Knight Commander 1. The squad's battle morale will be enhanced. Dual Magic Mage 2. The magic damage of all team members increases by 20%. He looked at them gradually approaching, attacking his soldiers. The enemy is here. Their hands gripped tightly onto the wall here. And just like that, they had completely swarmed this place, easily confronting the soldiers. The eyes of these monsters were extremely furious, looking forward. Ash saw this scene with some fear. He understood an important problem. From now on, we have to fight a very aggressive enemy in large numbers. The soldiers looked disheartened and trembled slightly at this sight. He asked himself, can the soldiers do it? Suddenly, at this moment, a yellow beam of light appeared, slashing across this place. This yellow beam of light was like a beacon of hope for everyone here. This horde of monsters was gradually slashed by the yellow light. None other than Lucas was the master of these light beams. He walked forward with great determination. Then he loudly announced to everyone here, I will cut off their heads. What we need to do now is to maintain morale and stop them. Hearing this, but still immediately regained confidence and nodded in agreement. Understood. Ash witnessed the entire scene and just formed a smug smile on his face. Yes, that's right. It's not about whether they can do it, but that they absolutely must do it. He looked at all the soldiers here, regaining their strength and roaring. To survive, all soldiers must become stronger. They have no other choice but to crush, fight, and win. He quickly shouted, turning towards Lily, and ordered, Lily, activate the next artifact. She heard this and nodded in agreement. Okay, as you command. Then she slowly extended her hand forward, creating a stream of blue light, and recited the incantation, activate artifact, accelerate. But the soldiers seemed to gain more strength and advance forward more resolutely. At this moment, his system also displayed notifications. Movement speed of all allies increased by 5%, duration 5 minutes. He looked at his skills on the system and thought in surprise. Also, the attributes I've equipped will surely be useful in close quarters combat with them. Immediately after, the small group of soldiers continuously struggled against the huge monsters right in front of them. Their voices kept ringing out. Push the monsters away. Push them down. Ash saw this and pondered something with some hesitation, in which only the thought appeared, everyone succeed. The sky growing darker seemed to offer no hope for what was happening. With the strength of these monsters, very quickly, the soldiers were almost being overwhelmed. Lucas wielded his sword and attacked fiercely forward. His decisive sword strikes quickly defeated many different monsters. Ash saw this and thought with some worry, it's Lucas's first skill, Fierce Awakening Advance. He looked at Lucas's back and fell into his own deep thoughts. A skill that helps him become stronger the more enemies he kills. Lucas is handling half of the fortress wall by himself. But there was still an important problem. He stood in the middle of the battlefield and slowly remarked, however, that's still not enough. We are gradually losing. At this moment, a soldier was slashed by a holy spear and screamed in pain. Another soldier quickly ran up to support him and shouted an announcement, the injured retreat quickly, change positions. At this moment, the monsters became even more frantic in their attack. He immediately realized an important thing. Unlike the living armors, our soldiers are getting more and more injured. Damien appeared at this moment and loudly announced, report, I will return to the front lines. As quickly reached out to stop him, a thought appeared in his mind. He needs to use his strength to attack the boss behind, Jupiter too. At this moment, he became even more bewildered and asked himself, what should I do? He looked at the soldiers here being gradually overwhelmed even more. There's a way to reduce casualties and eliminate the remaining enemies. At this moment, a yellow light appeared right here in the midst of the battle. Ash saw this scene and was startled, remembering something. He looked at the burning fire right in front of him, pondering, not understanding what was happening. Lily was standing there using her firepower to envelop the entire area. She sat on a chair trying to reach her hand forward. Seeing this, he shouted her name loudly. Lily! This made him extremely happy, and he shouted, understanding something. That's right, she can use magic. Seeing her look slightly surprised, Lily quickly asked him back, are you really serious, sir? I'm a mage after all. As quickly nodded and replied to her, yeah, that's great. Lily, I'll promote you later. She just sighed tiredly. No, spare me. He looked at her and assessed. It seems she can't use as much fire magic as before. Then he quickly approached her wheelchair and announced, definitely, I'll also give you a huge bonus. So, here. He pushed her forward and smiled, saying, give us a few more flames. She continued to reply angrily to him, I want to quit. And I've used up all my mana. Just one more time. Ready? At this moment, he was truly a demon. He delightedly pushed her forward and ordered, fire. She could only helplessly obey him. He calculated in his head, team's combined power, 20%, plus artifact attack, 5%. Then he looked at everything enveloped in fire and laughed in surprise. The final power of fire magic is 25%. This is insane. He pushed Lily while cheering her on. You can do it, flamethrower? One more time. She saw this and pouted a bit. At least treat me like a human. He looked at the soldiers needing to regain their strength, slowly advancing to attack. Like this, the soldiers used their bodies to block the enemy. Lucas quickly lowered his sword shyly towards these monsters. Lucas used his sword to behead them. Lily, looking exhausted, was given a recovery potion by Ash, trembling, and Lily burned away everything remaining with fire. Just like that, the monsters were gradually defeated easily. Their limbs continuously fell to the ground. The soldiers here saw this scene and froze. A voice shouted, "It's over!" Immediately after, soldiers continuously shouted with delight, "We won! We stopped them! We did it!" Ash loudly announced to everyone, "It's not over yet." Everyone saw this and spoke with some disappointment. What? Lucas stood there panting heavily with exhaustion. Ash looked forward and loudly announced to everyone here, "Don't lose focus. There's still one more." Suddenly, at this moment, the armor fragments of the monster slowly floated into the air. Immediately after, it was completely absorbed by the giant monster high above. These things made the monster even stronger and more complete. Not only that, but it also held a weapon in its hand created from the items just now. Its eyes lit up with an extremely smug expression on its face. At this moment, this monster had evolved into a super monster in an overbearing way. A giant light shone down on this place. The monster slowly walked towards everyone's city wall. Immediately, the city wall trembled, causing everyone to panic and shout. In Aza's mind at this moment, only one thought appeared: damn reality. He helplessly shouted loudly, blaming this cursed game. "Isn't this absurd? This thing is the boss of stage 1. The overbearing super monster holding a weapon slowly advanced. Its eyes were extremely furious, staring at Ash, intending to attack. His hands at this moment involuntarily trembled strangely. But very quickly he regained his composure. He tried to speak to reassure himself. Although his whole body was still trembling, but his eyes stared at the monster as if trying not to be afraid of something. "Damn it! Don't be afraid, it's just a stage 1 monster. The only difference is that it's just a higher level." Then he shouted loudly, ordering the soldiers, "Fire!" Shots were continuously fired. His voice kept ringing out, "Don't save ammunition." The battle became increasingly fierce. Large explosions occurred right in front of this monster, but it showed no fear. It continued to advance quickly as if deciding to do something. The footsteps of this super monster partly advanced towards the city wall. Immediately after it approached the city closer, Aza's voice also became increasingly harsh. "Keep firing. Hurry up before it gets close to the city wall." This ghostly super monster slowly moved closer to the city wall. Although enveloped in fire, the Phantom Knight still advanced, step by step. At this moment, he could only think helplessly, "What a disgustingly strong bastard." Remembering something, Ash immediately called out loudly. She was startled and confused. What is it?" He turned his head and signaled to her, "Activate the 3rd artifact." Hearing this, she immediately acted, "Yes." Lily raised her hand high forward and shouted her incantation, "Activate artifact." Immediately after, a blue light appeared. The artifact's magic spread. It could increase the recipient's magic effect by 100%. Jupiter felt the stream of power slowly entering her body. The system immediately displayed a notification. Jupiter's magic effect is increasing. She felt the surging power and laughed with delight. "Excellent." A strange smile appeared on her face. She slowly spoke, "It feels like my golden days." Ash helplessly pointed at the monster approaching the tower and shouted, signaling her, "Hit it with all you've got. Jupiter, focus your power on its chest plate." Her footsteps slowly moved forward. At this moment that Jupiter looked incredibly overbearing, she conjured 2 large lightning bolts in her hands and didn't forget to remind, "Be careful with those lightning bolts, Your Highness." The sky was growing darker, preparing to create huge lightning bolts. Her voice kept ringing out, "Even if you get electrocuted, there's no compensation." Accompanied by that were huge lightning bolts striking down here. Jupiter used all her strength to decisively attack the monster right in front of her. A loud noise erupted. The monster was affected by her power. Very quickly, a blue light appeared before everyone. This strange round blue thing inside the super monster made Ash realize something. "That's the soul core." He quickly turned his head and signaled towards Damien. "Damien!" He had already gotten into a ready stance, aiming the giant, powerful supergun at the monster's face, and continued to speak, "Here, sir." He immediately ordered fire. After hearing this command, his eyes widened, staring forward as if determined about something. Very quickly, he slowly turned the control handle of this giant cannon. The cannon was slowly activated, firing straight at the monster. Just like that, a large explosion was fired straight at this giant super monster. The giant spear aimed straight at the monster's core sphere and attacked. Everything gradually broke apart, emitting a strange light. Just like that, the protective glass layer completely shattered before this power. Az saw this and burst out laughing with delight. Great shot, Damien. He looked smugly at the monster standing there right in front of him. It's over. Suddenly, at this moment, the monster's eyes slowly lit up, staring forward. Seeing this, he panicked, his eyes wide with shock and fear. Damn it, it still wasn't enough damage? Yuio. Yiji. At this moment, the super monster gripped the giant weapon in its hand tightly. It slowly raised its hand, preparing to attack the city wall. A terrifying thought appeared in his mind. If that sword strikes down, it will break the city wall. He quickly shouted desperately, signaling Jupiter, "Jupiter, give it another blow." She still stood there calmly, voicing her thoughts, raised the steel weapon amidst the thunderstorm. Moonlight shone down on a bustling town full of people, passing by. The evening after the battle, a festival was held in the city's central square. One person raised a beer mug and joyfully said, "Now congratulations to everyone for defeating those ferocious Amor monsters and securing victory for us." Ash's face was tense, but his voice held a flicker of joy. "Let's raise our glasses." At this moment, everyone simultaneously raised their beer mugs with joyful excitement. He stood on a high platform, excitedly speaking, then raised his beer mug to the enthusiastic cheers of all the people. "Let's drink to our heart's content. I'll pay for tonight. Cheers." Two people clinked their beer mugs together forcefully. The festival had begun. The band began to play a harmonious blend of violin and drums. The vendor laughed heartily, poured a large mug of beer, and handed it to an equally cheerful soldier behind. Rice grains in a pot over a large fire were being cooked by a professional chef. Fresh slices of meat were being fried to perfection on blazing hot coals. Two hands clasped tightly together. A soldier raised someone's arm and shouted, "The new soldier has won." "Damn it, that last one didn't count." Ash sat quietly in the distance, observing the bustling crowd in front. One more match with the left hand. Involuntarily, he gave a gentle smile. Someone's footsteps approached Ash. "Sir, are you all right?" Lucas stood before him, worried. "You haven't eaten anything today, sir. Please have some food." Az hesitated, then agreed. "All right then." Ash pensively looked at his beer mug and was immediately reminded by him, "That's not the look of a commander who just won a battle, sir." Lucas looked at him, detailing his merits. "You stopped thousands of living Amor without major casualties. I think you should be a little happier." He half closed his eyes, brought the beer mug to his lips, and said somberly, "It's true there were no major casualties." The beer that had just entered his mouth was spat out by Lucas. Lucas, shocked and worried, shouted, "Prince, your highness, are you all right?" Ash stammered, "I'm fine. It's just that the taste of this is a bit different from what I imagined." His face darkened, mouth agape. He glanced at the beer mug, thinking in astonishment, "This isn't beer. Its alcohol content must be at least 20%. Anyway." Ash's eyes narrowed, his voice sorrowful. "It's true, there were no major casualties, but we still lost precious lives. War created a scene of a sea of fire and blood everywhere. Homes destroyed, many casualties the moment someone dies. Then, whether casualties are large or small, no longer matters. Every life is important, and everyone is precious." A fortress sturdily built with layers of strong rock appeared. "Of course, I know I can't save everyone. In this cruel game, that's an arrogant thought, but..." Regret appeared in Ash's eyes. "If I had been a little more careful, they wouldn't have had to die." He recalled his confusion and crisis during the battle. "It's different from the tutorial round. Back then, I still had a chance to change things." Ash's hand tightened around the beer mug. "It's painful because I already knew that." Lucas seemed to understand what he was pondering and gently reassured, "Your Highness did very well, so you don't need to feel bad. That's what I think." He looked at the large bonfire lit by the celebrating crowd burning brightly and said softly, "But no matter what I say, I can't make your Highness's regrets disappear." "But your Highness," Lucas comforted and then reminded, "this is a victory celebration, and if its host isn't happy, the soldiers' morale can't be boosted." He looked at him with a gentle smile. "So please cheer up, sir. At least for now, please be happy with them. That's also the job of a commander." Ash smiled gently, hesitatingly, thinking, smiling is also a commander's job. Ader suddenly rushed from nowhere, shouting from behind him, "That's absolutely right." He jumped and yelled, "What the heck?" He held a large plate of vegetables and cheerfully continued, "Mourning the sacrifices is very important, but we also need to celebrate and live happily." Ash, bewildered, wondered, what on earth is he doing? Ader bent down, holding the plate of vegetables towards him, and said kindly, "Because eating only meat isn't good for you. So I brought some vegetables." As sweating and dazed replied, "Hey, I haven't even eaten any meat yet." He grinned widely and announced, "Congratulations, sir, for completing stage 1. My master, that was truly a tough stage, but you did very well, sir." Ash was a bit embarrassed by Ader's congratulations. "Please maintain your form, sir." He reached for a tomato, and Ader's voice boomed, "His Highness Ash is eating vegetables?" Ash eating asked in confusion, "What are you doing?" He waved his hands high. "His Highness has no meat to eat, so he's eating vegetables." As soon as Ader finished speaking, the remorseful voices of the crowd rang out, "We sincerely apologize, Your Highness. We are truly foolish." Everyone immediately brought food faces streaked with tears and snot to Ash. "I can't believe we made the prince who is famous for eating only meat have to eat vegetables." Ash stood frozen, sweat pouring, thinking in confusion, what kind of weird fame is this? What kind of life has Ash lived? Someone roared an order, "You rotten scoundrels, quickly bring meat to His Highness the Prince meat, and bring more wine." Two burly men with arms around his shoulders were biting chicken thighs and cheering, "Pour more, drink up." Ash's face tensed, his eyebrows furrowed, his teeth clenching the piece of meat, thinking, how did things turn out like this? I intended to review today's battle in a dark and quiet corner. A hand reached for the corner of Ash's robe. "Prince, Your Highness." He turned to see Lily sitting on her chair, trembling. "Lily, since when did you get so drunk?" She suddenly burst into tears, wailing in grievance. "Fire me! Please fire me! Your Highness!" Ash smiled, held Lily's hands, and said gently, "All right, you don't need to work anymore. No one gets fired during these difficult times. Let me reward you handsomely." Two figures in black cloaks exclaimed in surprise, "Lady Lily!" Those two pulled Lily's wheelchair away, ignoring her wailing cries. "I want to give up." Ash puffed his cheeks, thinking silently, "That's right. Please take her away." A young boy sitting next to Az put down his beer mug and grinned mischievously, "Your Highness." Az sweated his face, dark, thinking, "What now?" Damien shivered and then marveled, "The water here is a bit bitter." Ash sweated profusely and reminded, "That's not water. Who gave this kid so much alcohol?" Jupiter continuously poured beer into the boy's mug, making him drunker and drunker. To Ash's dumbfounded expression, "Hey, Jupiter, what are you doing to this kid?" She smiled, a cigarette in her mouth, and explained, "He's not a kid. He's a full-fledged mercenary. He'll learn to drink, learn to smoke, and learn how to burn money." Jupiter closed her eyes and waved her hand. "He's like my nephew, so I'll teach him well." Ash gritted his teeth, furious. "Why would you teach your nephew things like that? What a scoundrel." Damien, drunk, leaned on his shoulder and smiled brightly. "Your Highness." Ash looked at him and said teasingly, "How dare you put your hand? Know your head on the prince. You've become braver, Damien." His face fell and he spoke somberly, word by word. "Whenever I'm alone, I always see my dead friend." Damien recalled the scene of himself on the ground, reaching out, watching the man in front struggling against the monster. "I can't stop myself from thinking about that day. The guilt of surviving without him crushes my heart. But strangely..." Suddenly, his face flushed, and he hesitantly said, "When I'm with Your Highness, I feel so at peace. That's why, when I'm with you..." As soon as Damien finished speaking, he slumped onto the table with a thud. Ash remembered when he gently touched his shoulder. "It's not because I'm special or a great person. It's just my inner self. But I can't tell him that." Jupiter looked over, raised her beer mug, and continued, "For some reason, I find my magic stronger when I'm under Your Highness's command. Is it because of your excellent leadership?" Ash explained everything in his head when he saw an energy diagram appear. "It's not that my leadership is good either. It's just my characteristic and the team's support." This battle has already been buffed by 25% power. His face darkened, speechless and confused. He thought, "But how can I say that?" Lucas, sitting on the other side, also smiled broadly and said politely, "When I'm with Your Highness, all my worries disappear, and my body becomes so light and agile. It's all thanks to your noble character, sir, and the commanding talent of a leader like you." Ash smirked and retorted, "Oh, is that why you're always by my side?" Lucas blushed, didn't deny it, and waved his hand. "Maybe." As grumbled in his thoughts, "What does maybe mean? That answer doesn't suit your knightly character at all." A series of beer mugs slammed onto the table, cheers erupting in unison, "For our fallen comrades, for those who survived, for our prince." At this moment, everyone surrounded Ash, making him jump. "What? Why, what's wrong with you all?" Someone peeked in and said, "Your glass is still full, sir." He stammered an explanation, "Because I'm not feeling well." Hearing this, the commoners burst into tears and snot, apologizing. "We sincerely apologize, Prince. We couldn't make you feel better. We made Prince Ash, who is famous for drinking continuously for a week, not drink a single drop of alcohol tonight." Ash froze, stiffly, bewildered, thinking, "Again, what kind of strange fame is this? What kind of wild life has this prince lived?" The people's self-reproaching words boomed, "We deserve to die. Execute us. Don't overdo it anymore. You brutes, stop it and stand up. Then please drink." "Sir," he flinched. "Huh, why do I have to drink?" Ash gulped down a large mouthful of beer and said loudly, Are you satisfied now, huh? Once you force your commander to drink, do you know what will happen next? Hey, fill the glasses. Many full beer mugs overflowed onto the table. The party became even livelier. All right, drink till we drop, as the moon shines in the night sky. The moon high up illuminated the dark night we ate, drank, sang, and talked on the night we won. Ash opened the door sluggishly, muttering, "I'm so drunk." As soon as he reached the bed, he collapsed. Ash sat up, his face flushed, looking at the pile of chests in front of him. I have to open all of these before going to sleep. He thought in amazement. This stage rewards a lot of chests. He placed his hand on a chest and muttered, "Let's see, what color are you?" As soon as he opened it, a dazzling golden light hit Ash's face. Could it be a legendary item? He took the glove out of the chest and froze stiffly, bewildered. Not only is it rank SSR, but it's also the highest grade item. Ash sweated excited and laughed loudly. Good heavens, an SSR item.